All right. Oh shit, the music's really loud. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Net Ghost Rider broadcast. I'm Net Ghost Rider. Most people call me Ghost. Welcome in. It is Saturday, August 8th, 2026. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's doing well and are not wage cocks like myself, but your boy worked. Your boy worked this morning, and he got paid well. Your boy got paid well, and I'm not mad about it. I just woke up. Good morning, kiddo. Good morning. Maybe put your glasses on so you can see. So chat, I did something new today. I worked, and then I got back from work, and I made myself burgers. I made myself pub burgers, I like to call them, where I put an egg on top of burgers. And I made some fries, and that shit was delicious. That shit hit the spot, chat. That shit hit the goddamn spot. It hit the spot so much that I sat here and did nothing. I sat here and did absolutely fucking nothing. I've been sitting here doing nothing. I was looking up hotels and stuff for TwitchCon, and then I got the YouTube videos ready for React content. But I kind of just want to putz around tonight and just do React content. I was thinking about maybe doing Flight Simulator today. Maybe. But we'll see. But yeah, not a lot to tell you. I have baseball tomorrow. Also thinking about streaming baseball tomorrow. It'd be in the morning, so I'm thinking about it. But we'll see. I'm gonna try to wake up early tomorrow. I'm gonna try to wake up early tomorrow, get to the field early, and then kind of scope it out to see if I can maybe pull it off. I don't know though. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Unhinged Friday was fun last night with Kidda and Supa and Keko. We had some fun, even though we couldn't fucking figure out how the game fucking worked. But once we kind of figured it out, we were kind of cruising. But anyway, I want to do some React content today. So I'm going to get into that right away. I want to play again. Yeah, I do too, now that we kind of understand how the game works. Yeah. Let's play Subby 2. I mean, I was thinking about playing Subnautica 2 tonight. But I had not messaged you, and I didn't want to put pressure on you. But I also want to do React content because my React queue is getting too fucking long. So, with that being said, I'm gonna swap on over. Waiting for host. I canceled it. Kidda, congratulations on the first. Spicy Water on the second. Also, Spicy Water, thank you for the 6 month subscription. Yeah. Secular talk. Cold shanking a 20-yard chip shot is nasty work. Yes, it very much is so. As someone who is a professional caddy, this is pretty bad. Just watch the video. Watch the video, chat. Just watch it. Watch it. This is your president. Spicy is the real first, but not technically, because Spicy didn't redeem it. But Spicy Water did resubscribe. But Spicy Water did subscribe. Ghost, you should have gone live an hour ago. My bad. Chat, you should check my Instagram story. It's funny. I'm trying something that I probably should have been doing for a while. I should post on Instagram and post on Twitter when I go live. Kind of like Hassan does, but don't got Insta, please show me. Here, chat. Here, you ready? You ready, chat? Also, here's the first one.
Instruction Manual Chapter 20, One Piece. If you haven't seen the previous chapters, I suggest visiting those before proceeding. Let's get into it. If you've ever walked into a room and wondered why your boyfriend is getting emotional over a pirate with a straw hat, this one's for you. One Piece is a Japanese media franchise featuring a manga, an anime, and a Netflix live-action adaptation. It follows Monkey D. Luffy, an optimistic pirate whose dream is to find the legendary treasure known as the One Piece and become king of the pirates, along with his crew of loyal friends. There are over 1,100 episodes of the anime aired so far, but don't worry, they're short. It explores themes of adventure, comedy,
yes,
friends,
I'm bobbing my head to the music.
Family, freedom, loyalty, never giving up on one's dreams, and protecting the people you love. Those are some pretty positive messages. It's not just about pirates, it's about having ambitious goals and never giving up on dreams. The world is separated into 4 seas, divided by the Red Line and the Grand Line. The story starts in the East Blue, but mainly takes place in the Grand.
We're going live. We're doing some React content. Will I be wearing a shirt on stream? I don't know. You're just going to have to click on the link to find out. See y'all in there. Anyway, I thought that was funny. I thought it was funny, chat. Also, this was a song I was bobbing my head to.
If this is the song you're playing, we can all sing along.
I missed the shirtless post. Well, that sucks. I literally just posted it, so. I'm out here pirating too with Edward Kenway. Yeah, I saw you were playing it. How is it, Keko? Or not Keko. How is it, Esco? I quit? You quit? Wait, you quit as in it was that bad? Or...
Gather up all of the crew, it's time to ship our Binks' brew. Sea wind blows to where, who knows, the waves will be our guide. Or across the ocean's tide, rays of sunshine far and wide. Birds they sing of cheerful things in circles passing by. Bid farewell to Weaver's Town, say so long to Port Renown. Sing a song, it won't be long before we're casting off. Cross the gold and silver seas, a salty spray puts us at ease, day and night.
I mean, I quit here because you called me Keko. I said whoops. It's the same as Black Flag, but with better graphics and better controls. Is it worth it?
To our delight, the voyage never rests.
Anyway, chat, that's from One Piece. Anyway, what your president, Mr. Donald Jedediah Trump, is doing on the golf course. This is it. So you see the ball there? You see the ball there? Watch where it ends up.
Oh, he shanked it.
Chat. 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 Do you see where that ball ends up? Chat.
Oh my god, I got that.
He was setting up for his distance, chat. He was setting up for your distance. This is where the ball was supposed to go. It went all the way over here. You could putt it from there. You could putt it from there and get it to the fucking green. And he hit it all the way over there. Let's watch again, chat.
Oh, he shanked it. Oh my god, I got
Chat, should we break down his swing? Should we break down his swing? So he sways. So he goes back. He goes back. He kind of rotates. His rotation's pretty good. But he sways to his front side. And he just kind of drops his arms rather than rotating. And he fucking hit the hosel. And it goes 40 yards to the right. It goes further right than it goes forward. Clear line of sight to the orange blob. Virtually no wind. Easy 600-meter back shot. Yeah, for the camera. Haney, for the camera. The diaper got in the way? I can do that? That's a you question, but maybe not since you just played it in the spring.
Oh my god, I got that on video.
Yeah, that's why I was holding off on buying it for now. But holy shit, chat. Dude, this is so bad. So bad.
Oh shit.
Ron Filipkowski reminds everybody that he's a 43-time club champion. Now, I will say, also, secular talk, Colin Clancy, cold shanking a 20-yard chip is nasty work. Yes. I will say, chat, when I was playing really, really well, I would hit those shots like once a round. I would hit them once a round. And it was not good. Also, ask how I was going to react to Forrest Valkai about the movie they made about him, but I didn't realize it was 2 hours and 45 fucking minutes, Ascow. I know you're also into photography, Ghosty. Yes. Yes, I'm very into photography. It's worth the difference, but you should wait for it to be on sale because it's single player and you pretty much just did it. Yeah. That one is long as fuck. Yeah. Yeah. It's because the movie's like 2 hours long. I didn't realize he reacted to the whole movie. I thought he just watched the movie and took like clips of it. But anyway, first video. I believe this is the video that BiteSync recommended. Yeah, this is the video that BiteSync recommended. I researched if flock cameras were legal, and then they installed one at my driveway. So this could be interesting. This could be an interesting video. Chat, as always, I am going to pin the link. Be sure to watch alongside. It was posted about a week ago. But we're going to watch it here. No, he tears the thing apart. Oh, nice. Anyway, chat, here we go.
Okay, here's the deal. As the title of this video implies, I began researching the constitutionality of flock cameras, which are now being installed at a mind-boggling pace in America. And after just 3 days of heavy research on the open internet, I woke up one morning and lo and behold, a flock technician was installing one just a few hundred feet from my driveway, pointing directly at my driveway. I'm not kidding. I blurred all of the footage around the camera because this thing is directly in front of my house. And, you know, normal people expect normal amounts of privacy.
On my run, I noticed a flock camera on the trail. No, you didn't. You didn't notice one at all. So if one just happens to disappear there, you never saw it, right?
And I'm not going to assume that a surveillance camera was installed pointing at my driveway directly because I began heavily researching whether or not those surveillance cameras were constitutional.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
But the fact that this thought...
Dude, you can edit that better. You can edit that better.
...is even within the realm of possibility at all is exactly why America is so concerned about these cameras.
At the flock out of Troy, thank you very much.
So in this episode, let's just answer the dang questions. What are these cameras? What do they do? And are they a direct violation of our Fourth Amendment right to privacy?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Just quick off topic. We all know our buddy Flash, right? His name is James. We call him the boy. Anyway, I forgot about James Kidd related. No one will know. This is the guy who can't edit his current videos. Yeah, but I don't do that shit. When I edit my videos, my fucking edits are good. I know y'all think my edits are good. So don't give me that shit. He can't. He just doesn't have time. And I'm also working 6 days next week. I'm working 9 rounds in 6 days. So I don't think it's going to get better. Remember when I said I was going to get it done this week? And then shit hit the fucking fan that I had to deal with off stream?
I'm Jake the Lawyer, and
Not the
welcome
same.
back
Yes, the same.
to Internet Esquire. All right, so you may have seen videos floating around the internet recently that deep dive into the controversy around these cameras. I mean, there's a ton of them.
Today, we're going to spy on flock employees to see how they like being under surveillance.
And that's probably because over 115,000 of them...
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Spying on flock employees. I think that's kind of cool. The stage of capitalism truly feels impossible to survive. Well, yeah. As we'll watch on Second Thought later. Talking about the fall of capitalism. I mean, at this point, do we think capitalism is going to survive this surveillance state? I don't think so.
Have been installed in America in less than 2 years. And the accusation is simple. A private company is using your tax dollars to install the infrastructure for a nationwide mass surveillance system. A system that will not only track your everyday movements and violate your constitutional right to privacy, but will usher in other more dystopian designs like social credit score systems and worse. Now, as good on
We already have a social credit score system. It's called the credit scores. Oh my God, this is fucking crazy. I mean, it's for the safety of the Flock employees. Yeah, I never thought of it that way, Hanny. I never thought of it that way.
Honest Americans with a healthy distrust of governments big and small, that's obviously something we should be concerned about. But it's often hard from these investigative videos to get an actual sense of what's really happening. Can a private company create a mass surveillance system? Is that legal? And is that even what's really happening, or is this in—
Yes, because they're being contracted by they're being contracted by the either local police departments or the townships themselves in closed door meetings, which the politicians are signing NDAs about.
Entire thing being blown completely out of proportion.
Will someone please explain to me what the hell is going on?
Okay, let's just start at the beginning. Flock Safety Inc., doing business as Flock Safety, is a private American company founded in 2017 by Matt Fury, Paige Todd, and CEO Garrett Langley, who recently called deflock.org a terrorist organization.
There's terroristic organizations like deflock, whose primary motivation is chaos.
Now, to be
Someone doesn't understand the definition of terrorism. It's almost like he's using that word on purpose. It's almost like he's using that word on purpose to get people to think that it is a bad thing to not have cameras all over the place.
fair, he did apologize for this later, but only after guys—
Fuck him. Fuck him. I don't give a fuck about his fucking apology. Fuck him.
like Ben Johnson and Tommy G got millions of views when they started actually digging into the company. Either way, calling a crowdsourced project that uses public information to map flock cameras a terrorist
Fuck Tommy G? I don't know who Tommy G is.
Organization is a pretty wild mindset to have for a company that—
But if he's anti-flock, then I will— Ben Jordan is whatever. Yeah, Ben Jordan's— he's got some good shit. Who exactly is scared of the deflockers? I think they're more like humorous. Yeah. I think the corporations are more scared of the deflockers as well as the cops, considering the deflockers are just targeting potentially illegal equipment that will inevitably be used to throw them in jail someday. I have to say, GG's Minnesota, GG's. Like, he's kind of on the right track in his videos, but he doesn't ask the right questions. Well, I'd rather have somebody on the right track. I'd rather have somebody on the right track and not quite asking the right questions, because eventually they're going to get to our position. By accident.
Claims everything it does is constitutional because it comes from public information.
All things that are public information in the plain view.
Also, Ben Jordan, I think, is a great segue into anti-capitalism.
Anyways, if you haven't figured it out by now, Flock makes surveillance cameras and the software that supports them, but that's like the only simple part about any of this. And of course, what most people are referring to when they say Flock cameras today are Flock's automated license plate reader cameras, otherwise known as ALPRs, or just LPRs. These are the ones that have been popping up everywhere. Now, here's the thing.
Chat, there's a website that you can look up if your license plate has appeared on a Flock camera, and mine has not, luckily. I will not give you my license plate number on stream, but there is a website that you can look up to see if your license plate was recorded.
About these cameras, anyone can get one. I mean, literally anyone. I mean, you could get one and point it facing at your driveway if you wanted to. That'd be fun. Oh, I don't know if I'm home yet.
What's the site? I don't recall. I've seen it on several like deflock web pages, but I can't remember what it was. Have I been flocked.com? Have I been flocked.com? So, did everybody get that?
Knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Anyway, here's how these flock cameras work. They capture a still image of virtually every vehicle that passes by recording the license plate, time, and location, and then log the plate number and use additional AI analysis to create a more robust profile of the vehicle based on identifying characteristics like a roof rack or a bumper sticker. The flock system then places that information into a searchable database, which is ordinarily set for about 30 days, but can be set for almost literally any amount of time. So if it does all of that, who then would be likely to purchase all of these cameras? Well, unsurprisingly, their biggest customers are things like law enforcement agencies, city governments, and other large real estate holders like...
It's interesting that he showed the New York City Hall there, because I'm pretty sure Zoran is not going to be adding flock cameras, because I'm pretty sure New York City already has a shit ton of cameras.
Homeowners associations, commercial developments, universities, schools, churches, and places like that. So now, knowing that, let's answer the first big question. Is any of this basic technology and the use as described by Flock constitutional in the first place? Okay, are LPRs legal? Well, the general answer is yes, license plate readers are legal, but there is a very specific context to their use that Flock seems to be hellbent on pushing the boundaries on. And we're going to talk about all that soon, but for now, just think of it like this. Anyone can generally...
I heard some of these terrorists have been pointing 1,000 megawatt green lasers that can be bought off Amazon at the Flock camera lenses, completely bricking the camera. I can't believe it. I mean, that doesn't sound plausible, Haney. And I definitely would not condone people doing that at all, Haney. I would not condone that. Because I would not condone something that doesn't seem plausible at all, Haney. I would never encourage people to potentially do that. Have you heard of that small town in Minnesota that had all their Flock cameras cut down overnight? They found the poles, but the equipment was never found. Huh. That's weird. Flock must have went in and taken them down themselves. And then just, yeah. They just didn't let people know that they took them down. I've installed thousands of LPRs, but we have never set them up so that the plates can be stored and shared with other customers. Yeah. I heard this, but yeah, I would need to see evidence of it working. Definitely not. I honestly think it is AI-generated fake news. Yeah. Because I definitely don't. Yeah, and even if that did work, like we wouldn't condone that. Like, obviously that's sci-fi stuff. I wouldn't say that we would encourage that. The operations like that.
Photograph anything that is happening on a public roadway, so long as a few basic things are kept in mind.
Green lasers was this Star Wars?
In a place where they're legally allowed to be, and they are observing information that is regularly exposed to public view, which is a very legalistic way of saying...
But here is the difference. You're not storing it in a database and then submitting it to artificial intelligence to potentially frame somebody in a crime. That's it. No time for us gamers to do that kind of stuff anyways. Yeah. It's a shame we got to keep the streaks going until Byte misses one.
Things in the street can be filmed, but keep this in mind. When law enforcement does this, or when the government or any governmental agent does this, something else comes into play, the Fourth Amendment. And the Fourth Amendment says this about the right to privacy. The right of the people to be secure...
Congratulations on 25 consecutive streams.
Effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized. Don't worry if that doesn't make sense to you, okay? I'm right here. The point is, well, the words "the right to privacy" do not expressly exist inside of the language of the Fourth Amendment. That is really just legal shorthand for the right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures and unjustified government intrusion. Now, originally, this right to privacy was closely connected to actual physical property, and it was designed to prevent the government from entering your home, seizing your belongings, or taking you and your loved ones off to jail without probable cause. But as new technology continued to reveal more and more about everyday American life, beginning in the mid-20th century, the Supreme Court began to recognize that this physical protection of property also extended to government searches in the digital realm. And the first case to do this was in 1967 in a case called Katz versus United States. A man named Charles Katz was using a public telephone booth to transmit illegal gambling information, and so what the FBI did is they placed a listening device on the outside of the telephone booth, and while Katz was inside of the telephone booth blabbing away about whatever illegal gambling tips he had, the FBI heard the entire conversation. They obviously then used this information to prosecute him, and when this came up in court, the government argued that they did not commit a Fourth Amendment search without a warrant because they had not physically entered the phone booth. And
okay, but you are the person who is making the phone call is reasonably thinking that they are having a private conversation, but it is forced onto them that it is no longer a private conversation. Yes, you could have somebody eavesdropping there, like a human being, except you would see a fucking human being.
The fact that the phone booth was on a public sidewalk. And while the court held that what a person knowingly exposes to public view is not protected by the Fourth Amendment, they found the listening device to be unconstitutional, saying this: the Fourth Amendment protects people, not places. What a person knowingly exposes to the public, even in his own home or office, is not subject of Fourth Amendment protection. But what he seeks to preserve as private, even in an area accessible to the public, may be constitutionally
Chat, should I be a fucking lawyer? Should I be a lawyer? I feel like I should be a lawyer.
protected, meaning a government action can be an illegal search even if it doesn't involve physical trespass, and even if it happens in a public place through what is known as the reasonable expectation of privacy test. Here's how that works. Whether someone A actually sought to keep something private, and B, that expectation...
Like wiping your phone when someone demands you open it? I mean, that person didn't wipe their phone. They didn't enter the code in. The cops entered the code in. If it's the one that you're talking about, Cal.
Is one that society recognizes as reasonable is more important than the place where the search occurred. As a result, things can be protected from unwarranted government intrusion, even if those things happen in public. So now let's take this back to Flock. They claim that every individual camera just takes individual pictures of license plates, and that there's nothing wrong or unconstitutional about any of that.
Again,
ALPRs do not violate.
When you fucking put them in a database, and then you include it in a fucking algorithm to create a profile, that's when it becomes illegal. The government has taken away your right to wipe, say no to bidets.
The Fourth Amendment,
hey, the Phillies tied
or
the game.
Any other constitutional provision.
Well, yes, that is true. But there is way more going on here than they're actually letting on in these videos, and we're going to get into all of that.
Speaking of FBI, when my dad was a kid, his dad's friend was part of the mob, and they tapped the phone line for a year. Then when the FBI finally caught him, the FBI told them, yeah, it's called, bite sync. That's what the FBI did back then to get the mob. That's where like all like wiretap laws and everything came from. What's up, Jay?
Minute when we begin to talk about the mosaic problem. But for now, let's just continue to work the problem. If someone
So I don't trust plumbers, they'd be putting taps everywhere.
To preserve something as private, and that expectation is deemed reasonable.
Tap is only legal if the judge signed the warrant. Correct. From a government entity, but some states have a single party law where only one party has to be privy to conversations being recorded. Dude, flock cameras got ruled unconstitutional. I'm hoping they ban the Knox cameras too. They honestly surprised to hear good news today. Did flock cameras get ruled unconstitutional? Working some D&E stuff? I think so. One of my homies sent me something about it earlier. I mean, no. They haven't been ruled unconstitutional. That did not happen. Because that would have been a way bigger story. And also, there are literally like townships and stuff where the people are rising up against their city councils and stuff like that. My homie saw something fake then. I mean, maybe they saw somebody straight up saying that flock cameras are unconstitutional. Not that they were ruled unconstitutional. Texas is a one-party state, but one of the parties in the conversation has to be the party consenting. That's not a tap. That is just recording. Oh. Well, that's good to know. Oh, yeah, because that would be the party. Because that would be different. Because it'd be a third-party entity tapping it. Yeah, that would make sense. I took a flock camera home, but after 2 days in my bedroom, flock decommissioned it remotely.
Society, that thing can be constitutionally protected from unwarranted government searches, even if that search occurred in public. That was the fundamental legal finding of cats. So is it reasonable to have an expectation of privacy in your license plate when you're on a public road? No, it's not. Beginning in 1980.
Cheap green laser pointers help flock cameras, by the way, guys. Yeah, I mean, they help the flock cameras. So definitely, I definitely don't encourage people to do that. We don't condone doing that because we're against flock cameras. So we would like them to not be enhanced by green lasers. Ghost, what does your shirt say? I don't know. Spicy water. That's how I set up dual boot Linux on my desktop. Nice.
83 with the Supreme Court case of United States versus Knots.
But we would definitely not advocate for people to potentially destroy property, because if we know one thing, we know that the United States government clamps down on destruction of property. Like, will murder people for destruction of property. Just so everybody knows. That we would never advocate for any kind of destruction of property here in the Ned Ghost Rider broadcast. We would never advocate for that. Flock cameras are people too.
The court found that a person traveling on public roads has no reasonable expectation of privacy in the vehicle's movements because the routine direction, stops, and destination are visible to anyone watching. And then
I'm going to advise against that, Paul. Oh, no. What's wrong with Ubuntu? I play too many games to use Linux. Yeah, that's my problem with Linux. I do love using terminals and shit and coding, but Ubuntu is bloated as fuck. I think Ubuntu just has like a favorable GUI for someone jumping from like Windows or something like that. Play games daily on Linux. Well, you're a tech nerd, Ascal. You know how that shit works. Half the anti-cheats don't work when you use Linux. It's not that bad. I use it at a 11-year PC. It runs fine.
In United States versus Porter in just March of this
Paula
year,
also uses
the
a
Federal
tube TV
Fifth
too.
Circuit applied that logic and held that police did not conduct a Fourth Amendment search by searching license plate reader records, which showed a vehicle of interest at several points along a public road. So Flock is not entirely wrong in this very narrow interpretation of what their cameras do, and this is also not uncommon for how criminal investigations use LPRs today, but don't take my word for it. Here is Buffalo Police Special Victims Unit Detective Richard High to explain a little bit more.
Also, I think the craziest part is that we're basically going to allow AI to do work that cops are supposed to do. Cops are supposed to fucking do investigations, not harass and terrorize brown people and poor people. So, okay, I want to get all my important stuff on a Linux laptop or something, then just use the Windows one for gaming and streaming. That'd be cool.
Or how LPRs are used every day by law enforcement.
For law enforcement, when we use the LPRs in order to like find vehicles that have a registration that's been expired, you know, for like vehicle and traffic law, you know, the cop car turns around, you know, puts its lights on and said, hey, the LPR.
I just installed Steam and bam, worked. Nice. Oh, thanks, Otto. Thanks for making me stand. Now I'm going to go pee and I'm going to fill my water and I'll be right back.
Or the vehicle registration suspended. That's one way. The other way is we save that data. So let me say that Axon, everybody knows Axon is a body cam company. We use Axon. We previously didn't. But even then, the license plate readers that we had stationary throughout the city and attached to vehicles still saved the data for a long period of time. And we could look and say, hey, this car recently was involved in a shooting. Let's run the plate and see where it comes back to previously. And then you can see like how and where it would park and where it would be when it would hit those license plate readers, right? If it's a patrol vehicle that's moving around, it would say, oh, it's parked in front of this address a whole bunch. We can assume that that's a person that lives there. And then you gather more information from like your electrical or gas company. Or you say, hey, this is where it was driving. We now know that it was at this scene during these times, possibly stalking somebody, or we know it came from this general direction. So the data save, the data bank on license plates that have been read by LPRs has already been out there. Now they may not talk to one another, you know, like Flock is a company, Axon is a company, and the other previous ones that we use is another company. Sometimes they don't mesh. Now I believe Flock might be getting rid of that and meshing with everybody, so everybody can kind of collect data together.
Right you are, Detective High. Right you are. And if you'd like to see an exclusive show available only on pepperbox.tv called Awful and Unlawful, where Detective High and I review incidents of criminality along with our friend Nolan from the Man vs. Morning podcast, or you just want to watch all of these YouTube videos over there but without ads, check out the link in the description below to get started with a 14-day free trial.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, me too.
The first episode of Awful and Unlawful is going to drop.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were standing already. I was trying to make you sit. Wow. Wow, Otto. Hi, Julie. Hello. How are you? How was stream? How was stream? Hope you had a good stream. Hope you were enjoying Pal World and trying to get those mushrooms. So you can play all solo games on Linux. I doubt competitive shooters will be able to playable. Yeah. Ghost, can you rewind for 20 seconds? Why am I rewinding? I want to watch the cop slide down the stairs again. Wait, there's a cop sliding down the stairs? Wait. There's a cop sliding down the stairs? Where?
On pepperbox.tv called Awful and Unlawful.
I'm good, Julie.
Where Detective High and I review incidents of criminality along with our friend Nolan from the Man vs.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. Oh my God! He fell down the stairs. Okay. Whew. Okay, I'm back. I'm back, chat. Sorry. I needed to blow my nose. Julie, I'm good. I worked this morning. Work went well, and I get to play baseball tomorrow, and I get to stream in front of you wonderful people and do some React content. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. I hope you had a good stream, and I hope you get that food, because I know you were talking about food earlier.
This morning podcast, or you just want to watch all of these YouTube videos over there but without ads, check out the link in the description below to get started with a 14-day free trial.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, me too.
The first episode of Awful and Unlawful is going to drop next week, and there are already hundreds of exclusive episodes available over there right now that you can't find on YouTube.
Also, what the fuck was that cop thinking? He jumped over the banister onto the stairs. What do you think was going to happen? Is what I would say if I was making fun of the cop, but I would never say that.
YouTube. Either way, it's a great way to support this channel and to take part in a great community. So consider jumping on over there if you're interested. Otherwise, all of my regular Internet Esquire videos will be available here on YouTube with ads or over on Pepperbox. Anyway, as Detective High stated and the Fifth Circuit Court reiterated in the case of Porter, LPR cameras are permitted as constitutional so long as they are intermittent public observations. Intermittent public observations. Intermittent. It's a word that
That's a
matters.
big word.
Mm-hmm. And it's important because it is the opposite of continuous mass surveillance tracking of—
Hey, anybody that was in Supa's stream last night after we raided? Anybody that was in Supa's stream after we raided last night, did she finish Exit 8? Is your duty to make these cameras operate intermittently? Yes. For Flock employees to make sure that they operate intermittently. Flock employees and people that may have deputized themselves Flock employees. Ghost, you finished it 3 times in the time you finished it? Wow. Wow. Super complete Exit 8 twice in less time it took you to do it once. I literally did it twice. The last 2 runs, I did it. We are all aspirational Flock employees on this blessed day. Yeah. We all want to assist Flock and be volunteers for Flock. I think you're right, Paul. I think it was 3 times. I literally beat it twice at the end. It didn't count my first time, and then I said, fuck y'all, I'm going to lock in, and then I beat it immediately.
Of the everyday movements of innocent American people, because there are constitutional limitations to public observation, and this is something that Flock does not want you to know about, and oftentimes law enforcement can also get wrong. The idea that there is no expectation of privacy in public is not true at all. You still have a Fourth Amendment right to privacy in public, so long as your expectation of that privacy is something that society would deem as objectively reasonable. And granted, while that is a bit of a slippery definition, it is within this exact definition that the situation with Flock becomes way more complicated. Now, increasingly since the company began, Flock technology is not just simply designed to provide—
Ghost, how would you know you're not live streaming with a Flock camera? Wouldn't you see my license plate across my forehead? Is that how that works?
Information inside of a closed system. It is designed to mesh information, not just with other Flock cameras, but with entirely other surveillance.
Chat, do you think— Okay, so I'm thinking in a Mara brain type way. Do you think a talented lawyer could argue? Do you think a talented lawyer could argue that a vehicle is private property, therefore government recordings of the vehicle that are stored in databases that then are used to mesh with other information is illegal? Do we think we could pull that off? I don't think we could thread that needle. I don't think we could thread that needle. I think it's hard. Forehead so large it would fit there. Wow, thanks. I think the motor vehicle debate has already been settled. I don't know. I do want to use it. Just don't know if it works a lot of games. Oh, you're talking about something else. It's on public roads. You have no rights. It's a receding hair. I don't have a receding hairline.
And police information systems. In fact, Flock's broader platform, Flock OS, is directly marketed as the—
Also, Spicy Water, you're lucky I know you IRL, or I would fucking time your ass out, if not ban your ass.
Connective layer for real-time crime centers. And according to Flock, this system can place the following information into one common operating system and map: license plate alerts, live and recorded video, third-party camera feeds, gunshot detectors, which we all know are just microphones that are actively listening, drones, computer-aided dispatch information, vehicle location information, and more. And this creates something wholly different than just a single LPR camera on a random public roadway. Imagine it this way. Imagine that LPR is connected with hundreds or even thousands of other LPR cameras. Now imagine those are all connected with drones, audio sensors, police dispatch, and more, and it's all integrated into one easy system inside of a Flock operating system. Now add in a sprinkling of facial recognition and voila, that is something entirely different than what we're talking about with LPRs. It is a virtually continuous, comprehensive, mass surveillance tracking system capable of violating some of the most basic concepts of privacy that society itself would easily recognize as objectively reasonable. And that, my friends, is what we call the mosaic problem. The idea that many small pieces of surveillance data, each seemingly harmless on its own, can be combined to reveal a
Watch Dogs is happening IRL, bro. Yeah, except it's the fucking cops doing it. Except it's the cops doing it.
Detailed picture of someone's life that no ordinary observer could realistically obtain, even if every law enforcement and government agent in the area was looking into it. A place where the whole surveillance record becomes constitutionally different from the sum of its individual parts, where hundreds or thousands of scans over time reveal where you—
I saw the river yesterday. Speaking of data centers, where at least less than 50% of normal water flow, I can walk across it. Is that a river or is that a creek at this point?
You work, where you worship, where you live, who you sleep with, where you travel, and where you take a dump.
Where beautiful women instinctively flock like the salmon of Capistrano.
Sorry, my point is, if this
the mighty
were
Colorado,
the case,
yeah, the mighty Colorado, the Colorado Creek. Colorado Creek. I did see an article that says, are we going towards a surveillance country? Oh, also chat. I was having a conversation with another caddy. He was talking about the ozone layer over Australia. He's like, oh, it's not there. I'm like, no, that's not true. He goes, what do you mean? It's definitely, it's not there anymore. I'm like, no. I'm like, it's thin, but it's not as big of a hole or as big of a problem as it used to be, because we got together in the Kyoto Protocol and literally got rid of CFCs and fucking fixed it. I'm like, yes. Danny, thank you for the hydrate. I'm like, yes. There is a thinning of the ozone, and yes, it is all over Australia a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. So then my player goes, he's like, I'm like, oh, I love those conversations. And my player goes, oh, well, is climate warming a thing? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, like, there's cycles that the earth goes through naturally. I'm like, yeah, if you don't want humans to live without missing a beat. And he goes, well, politically, when India and China, I'm like, China is leading the world in fucking renewables. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes. And he shut up really quickly after that. So again, I did not bring up politics. Me, as an expert, because I'm a fucking meteorologist, I'm bringing up what I know. And they're asking me questions. But if this wasn't the last day I was with the person, I might have got fired. This is why this is bullshit.
Any of this sound honest to you?
There's a common misconception that Flock tracks you wherever you go. And that's just not the case.
Now you might say, well, that's not the case, Jake, so that's why none of that sounds honest to you. But let me tell you a little story.
Hello, China is number one in renewables. Yes. Yes, it is. But the fucking dumbasses that all consume right-wing media, they're being told that China and India are blowing fucking coal like crazy. They're not being told the fucking truth. China is leading in renewables by a fuck ton. They're like, I'm pretty sure they're producing like a million megawatts of fucking power in renewables or something like that. Or that was their goal. $430 gigawatts, chat. 430 gigawatts. All right. So renewables in China, 430 gigawatts of renewables in 2025, reaching a total installed renewable capacity of over 2.34 terawatts. Right? Chat. The average household consumes 11 megawatt hours per year on average. They're producing 430 gigawatts. That's it. It's crazy. Dude, these fucking right-wing chuds are fucking dumbasses. They're being lied to and are completely fucking wrong. I mean, the funniest part is I set this fucking dude up over the last few days talking about the breadth of my knowledge and my education and everything like that. So then, at that fucking very moment, I could shut that shit down very fucking quickly. That's what I'm going to do from now on. I'm going to set them up with my knowledge. And then the last day when they bring up a fucking political thing, I just shut that shit down quick. I'm so curious how much renewable energy we have. Oh, that's funny you ask. That's funny you ask. Let's see. What does the Wiki article say? 17.8% of total primary energy production. 434 terawatt hours. That's terawatt hours, though. Solar power provides growing share of electricity in the country with over 111.6 gigawatts. Right? So that's solar. I wish they would just give the fucking total. Mojave Desert total generating capacity of 354. So the solar in the Mojave Desert could produce 354. Oh. Thank you, Otto. List of countries by renewable energy production. China. Chat. What's the units on this? Whatever the units are, they're doing over 3 fucking times what the United States is doing. 3,912, and the United States is 1,100. They are kicking our ass. Yes, they fucking are. But renewable energy is scary? Yeah, scary for fucking oil corporations and people that are surviving on dividends from oil corporations and fucking coal companies and shit. But not as scary as not avoiding the top of the hour ad break. Because at the top of every hour, I run a 3-minute ad. If you want to avoid the ads, you can pay $5.99 for a subscription or get lucky and get gifted a sub. Or you can link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account and get a free monthly subscription from Daddy Bezos to your favorite streamer. Hopefully it's me. If it's not me, then hopefully it's one of my friends. But anyway, here comes the 3-minute ad break now. Thank you, Otto. It's going to be like 100 and something. Also, this is terawatt hours. This is terawatt hours. The units. What's your question, Spicy? City of San Antonio runs their own power company, and they are putting solar on the roof of every gas station and then filling batteries in the neighborhood to supply power. That's fucking sick. That's awesome. I'm afraid to ask. Go ahead, Spicy Water. You can ask. Oh, no, it'd be a shame if we boiled water with nuclear energy. Let's burn coal instead. Yeah, let's boil the water with fucking coal instead of just virtually unlimited nuclear energy. Renewable energy is bad because what if they make a death robot powered by solar panels and it can never run out of gas and then destroy the earth? Okay. Land size comparison? Do you want to compare? China is about the same size as the US? Yeah. Also, we have large swaths of land where nobody lives. Low key in ads, but like people are so afraid of nuclear energy, even though every incident we had was like for stupid reasons. Yeah. Jay, when you get back in here, we can talk about nuclear. Actually, the United States has better land for renewable energy because it's flatter. And oh, welcome back, Jay. Okay. So the true size of the United States and China. China has 3.7 million square miles. The United States has 3.1 million square miles. So that's negligible. That's like a unit less. At Alaska, though, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair, Otto. At Alaska, that's fair. It was a question. I was answering the question. And China has far less land that is usable for renewable energy because it is mountainous and shit. The United States, a third, if not more, is fucking flat. It's flat. We have varied landscapes, so we could have every type of renewable energy. Yes, Jay, we fucking could. China is using unused hillsides and putting fucking solar panels in there. It's crazy. How did they turn China 90 degrees? Checkmate labels, fake news. It's because it was flat earth. But yes, coal has 4 letters. Iowa has 4 letters. Coal is good. Parking lot solar panels? Yes. Or no parking lots and just have public fucking transportation. Crazy. Crazy concept. Why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? Why don't we put solar panels on every fucking building we build? Why don't we do that? We need to replace LED streetlights with whale oil lights. I mean, cars are pretty... When you have public transportation, you can still have cars. When you have public transportation, you can still have cars. It's okay to have a car. But when you have public transportation, a lot less people use their fucking cars. But where are the buses parked? You need a lot less parking lots if you would have public transportation. I'm just fucking around. I know, but there's literally people that would say this shit, Jay. There's literally people that would say this shit. I don't trust electricity. Well, you should lick it, Otto. You should lick it like electricity. Actually, Twitch, I'm kidding. I'm not telling him to actually lick electricity because that would lead to death. Don't do that. I used to be friends with some of them. I don't know. Buses are bigger than cars. They need more space. The same amount of parking that it would take for 30 cars would fit 30 fucking buses. Okay, maybe not 30, like 15 to 20. We need trains, but they need to be coal powered. Sure, that's fine. That's fine. I'll fucking settle on that shit. Get a fork ready for that outlet, JK. JK. He didn't do the math. I did the math enough. It was fucking close enough. Fuck coal power. Give me wood power trains. Hey, wood is a renewable resource, by the way. Wood is a renewable resource.
Here's the funny thing about the mosaic problem. It first occurred in legal reasoning when the Supreme Court had to decide whether or not the CIA was required to disclose the names of researchers who had participated in the...
We only burn old growth trees in this locomotive? Yeah. Hell yeah. We'd replant the fucking trees? Well, Jay, I hate to break it to you, but the timber industry is one of the best industries as far as renewable resources because they understand if they don't plant trees, they're not going to have any more trees to cut down in the future. So the timber industry, ironically, is literally like one of the most sustainable industries like in the country. So are you saying you support our Navy with their nuclear powered carriers since it's renewable? I mean, if the carriers are used to, you know, not bomb brown people, not bomb innocent brown people and innocent brown children, then yeah, I'm for it. But is it being used to bomb brown people, and innocent brown children? Then I'm against it. We could use that money to make nuclear fucking power plants. We could do that. That it would actually be cheaper. You could build more. I support coal-powered bombs. They plant tons of trees, but they're all monospecies, and it still destroys environments. Yeah. I don't disagree with that sentiment, but particularly in the Pacific Northwest, the governments are very good. The local governments are very good at making sure that both the activist parties and the timber industry parties are working together to create the most sustainable actions that are done. What's up, Kego? No, nuclear power plants are scary. Nuclear power plants are scary, but nuclear-powered aircraft carriers are cool. Is that what Spicy Water's saying? Just heard Nagasaki sirens? And we're talking about nuclear? That was not good. Nuclear is bad because it explode. Dude, the other fucking hilarious part is that the propaganda against nuclear is literally from fucking gas companies and coal companies. It's ridiculous. Homeless could be solved. Nah, let's send that money to fucking Israel instead. Yeah, that's what we're saying, Jay.
MK Ultra program. Yeah, no, we're not.
There's a reason U.S. and Canada build houses out of wood because it's cheap and effective and it's a renewable resource. And you could build houses way faster out of wood, which is why if I ever build a house someday, I'm going to build it out of brick because I live in the Pacific Northwest and fires happen pretty fucking regularly. I did an event for a biophilic thing, and one of the dudes was from the Pacific Northwest and actually talked about the timber industry over there.
That we're not using flock cameras as a mass surveillance system. No. MK Ultra, the Tuskegee experiment.
They actually seem like they have an idea of being renewable. Yeah, they do because their industry literally relies on renewable.
No, we're not doing that anymore.
Also, fun fact, if the forests keep fucking burning down, the timber companies don't have trees to fucking cut.
More. Yes, and look, I'm not gonna get too deep into what the MK Ultra program
crazy
was,
concept.
Just know that it was a mind control program developed by the CIA during the Cold War that involved large amounts of LSD and drugging innocent people.
Mind control, LSD, Charles Manson.
I'm not kidding, but we're not doing that anymore. Got it. They said it. I don't know why you're still here. They said they're not doing it anymore. So
I know way too much shit about MK Ultra.
We're not using labs.
See, MK Ultra is a real thing, but the conspiracies, but you have to draw a line between the shit that is true and shit that has been made up. Some of the conspiracies get insane. Yes. But MK Ultra is actually a fucking conspiracy. MK Ultra is actually a conspiracy. But when you become a conspiracy theorist where everything's a fucking conspiracy, the actual conspiracies don't look that bad, which is our fucking whole problem as a country.
In other countries to engage in gain-of-function research. No, why would you think that? It was a bat. Anyway, the 1985 case of CIA.
Is this dude a COVID truther? God damn it, Bite Sync. Do your fucking research. Do your research. We just fucking platformed whatever.
Versus Sims requested the names of the researchers under a Freedom of Information Act request, and of course, unsurprisingly, the CIA refused and ran to the Supreme Court for an opinion. And the court reasoned that the CIA did not only not have to disclose the names of the researchers, but also didn't have to disclose things like the names of the universities where they worked or the names of the laboratories where they worked. Because
actually, I shouldn't be fucking shocked because the only people that would deep dive this much in the constitutionality and everything like that is a fucking libertarian psychopath. So I shouldn't be fucking shocked that it's a COVID truther. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. Yeah. But what about jet fuel that's on fire? Fun fact, MK Ultra actually gave us acid MDA and MDMA and speed because they're one molecule apart. I'm actually not that shocked about that. I mean, to be fair, the bat thing is a joke in South Park. Sure. Okay. But like zoologic illnesses do spread to humans from time to time. But the overwhelming consensus is that it got out of a lab. Not that it was released, it's that it was on something. Right? Isn't that what most of our government agencies have concluded? I plead the fifth. Pay attention enough to be able to be like, this is a bit much. Conspiracy get to the point where it's like, okay, what are we, 9-year-olds? What the fuck is this? Yeah. Also, I was just reading an article about, for my video. Ghost handler in the background smiling and holding thumbs up. That's what I keep looking over at.
Well, those individual pieces of information might seemingly be harmless. They could be combined by a form.
I low-key do think COVID is like a bioweapon that we made, but like just a virus, not like anything crazy. Okay. That's a take, I guess. That's a take.
Or an intelligence agency with other publicly available pieces of information.
Countries don't kill their own citizens. I know. That's an insane take to me. Well, that's why I was just leaving it as a take. I don't know, the lab thing just susses me out. What do you mean it susses you out? Just because you don't know, just because you don't understand the scientific process of studying fucking diseases and viruses and stuff doesn't mean it's a fucking conspiracy. Also, Jay, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just yelling in general for the people that believe this shit. Ghost doesn't deserve this shit. I fucking deserve it. Lamau, I get it. My uncle worked with the lab in Wuhan and knows people who worked there during that time and says that it very much looks like a lab leak. Yeah. And again, lab leak is not they purposely fucking leaked it. It's that it was a potential probably accident. I used to work in China. That's why I said low-key. Because you knew I was going to fucking call your ass out, Jay. Also, Spicy Water, did you see my shirt? Speaking about climate change. If only people knew how many nuclear bombs we lost. Oh, we know how many nuclear bombs we lost. We know. And guess what? Israel has like 4 of them. Oh, did I just admit to something that isn't public knowledge? Yeah, Israel has like 4 of them. They stole nuclear bombs from us. There's still 3 unrecovered. Yeah. Wasn't there one off the coast of North Carolina that they haven't recovered? If I said like high key, it would mean I believed it. Believe it's more like I wouldn't be surprised. Thank you, ByteSync, for allowing me to sit. But hey, do research on these videos so we don't have fucking COVID truthers. Hi, Ari. How are you?
To accurately identify.
Israel's just borrowing them. Yeah, they're borrowing for the Samson. For the Samson initiative. What the fuck is it called? Samsung what? Keko? Samsung option? Is that what it is? Yeah, the Samsung option is where Israel launches nukes at the United States, at Russia, and the UK, if I remember correctly, when Israel is about to fall. Which chat? Come on. Today is the most popular Israel will ever be. The current state of Israel. Today is the most popular that the current state of Israel will ever be. I mean, to be fair, we did do the Tusky Airmen MK Ultras, so like it's not far-fetched. We probably didn't bioweapon COVID. Governments are not trying to kill their people because if you kill your people, you lose the labor force. Okay? You can't produce shit at that point. You can't produce anything at that point. The rich people don't fucking make money. If the rich people don't make money, the politicians don't fucking make money. Yes, the Tuskegee Airmen and MK Ultra was a very localized portion of people that they literally tested shit on. They didn't kill them. It wasn't widespread fucking uncontrollably killing them. Like we didn't, but there's 1%. Oh my fucking God. Jay, you're like the people that say, well, there's like a 1% chance that the Holocaust didn't happen. Jay, just stop. Just stop. You have to watch the Senate hearing with Fauci? I don't want to. It was fucking stupid. I mean, they weren't going to be upset if those people died. Yeah, because they're fucking Republicans. They're crazy. Okay, that's like nowhere near what I'm saying. Okay, I understand that, but that's kind of where it's going at this point. I didn't say that you said that, but there's literally people that are like, well, there's like a 1% chance that the Holocaust didn't happen. And they're fucking stupid. They're dumb fucking people. It's not a bioweapon. It's not a bioweapon. It's literally a coronavirus that became a novel coronavirus because it had mutated, and we have never observed it before. It was AI in the 40s. Al in the 40s or AI in the 40s? Auto muted me? Did auto mute me? Because I was yelling. I have their leak list of targets. It's okay. They were leaked and put in Twitter. Oh, the targets were leaked on Twitter?
By the names of the researchers. No way. That's crazy. So you could take a bunch of individual pieces of information that seem harmless on their own and combine them to get a more complete picture of something else that's happening. Huh. Insane.
Okay, this guy's going down a conspiracy rabbit hole. I don't know how much longer I could kind of put up with this video. More me not trusting the government at all and just being obnoxious about it. Wouldn't it be better if there was a government that was more transparent? Like if you elect officials that were more transparent and, I don't know, maybe actually advocated for working class people and helped working class people out. Do you think you would trust the government more with that? No, I don't want transparency. I want them to lie so I feel good. The government is so incompetent. I don't understand how we give them this much credit. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Why do we think that the government is the current government iteration that we have fucking voted for the last 80 fucking years is competent? I don't understand. Why do we think that they're actually effective at their fucking job? Why? We didn't bring down the obnoxious level. I'm trying to eat tacos and it's tough to enjoy when Ghost is yelling. Only if they're the tacos that I make.
I mean, and of course, if it's a foreign intelligence agency, yeah, we don't want them getting a hold of it.
I don't mean this in a rude way because I love my friends in the U.S. Yes, that includes you, Ghosty, but USA is a fucking anomaly. Yeah, we're an anomaly because every other country in the world is relatively sane, with the exception of Israel. Israel's fucking crazy. Israel's crazy. Yeah, it's just Israel. It's just us in Israel. Dude, speaking of transparent people, did you see that the video of Mondani getting a pothole fixed like a few hours ago after the guy made that video? Yeah. Yeah, Jay. Isn't that shit crazy? Isn't it incredible when the government actually responds to their people and gets shit done? Crazy. I mean, there are other questions that are questionable. The UK is kind of insane. France is kind of insane. India is fucking crazy. India is fucking crazy. Sri Lanka is crazy because Keko does propaganda for them. Hey, motherfucker, I'm all for democratic socialism. Well, you can remove that democratic part. Socialism is actually more democratic than democratic socialism. India is fucking crazy. Equatorial Guinea is normal, though. Here they are. Iran, Tehran, Qom, Mashhad, Natanz, Isfahan, Shiraz, Tabriz, Syria, Damascus, Latakia, Aleppo, Lebanon, Beirut, Balak, Sidon, Gaza, Khan Yunis, Rafah, Egypt, Cairo, Alexandria, United States, Los Angeles, Denver, NORAD. They like have a chart of I'm better than you. Yeah, India has a chart and it's based on like skin color or like the religion that you follow. Shake my hand, came and make the Samson option list. NORAD isn't in Denver. A chart. It's like that Family Guy chart. That's what India does. The caste system is wild, but funny enough, it was created by the Brits. Yes, it was created by the Brits so they could control the Indian population. NORAD was in Colorado Springs last I checked. They're separated by commas. Commas? Commas? Denver is just a fuck you. They kept it for some reason. What do you mean for some reason? Denver, comma, NORAD. What do you mean? Jay, how long have you been part of this community? What do you think the reason? What do you think the reason? Hold on. Do you think the Israel nuclear weapons could fucking reach Detroit? What the fuck are we saying? What are we saying? What? What? You think Israel nuclear missiles can reach Detroit? Bro, what are we doing? What are we talking about? But anyway, back to what I'm saying. Honestly, wasn't even paying attention to the Israel thing. Okay. Jay. Why do you think a system which is designed to allow the powerful to continue to get whatever they want, why do you think that system continued to exist? Is there a chance? Is there a chance that this system was left in place? This caste system was left in place because the powerful got more and more powerful, and that it allowed a way to divide the working class people that outnumber the wealthy and powerful? Is there a chance that that's the case? Is there a chance that that's the case? Oh, no. Oh, I fucked up. Motherfucker, I know why they still have it. I'm just saying it's dumb. Jay, you live in the United States of America. We still have racism. Where were we at? Where were we at, chat? Can someone check where we were at? What number we were at? That's just as dumb, yeah. No, this is more fun. And why not DC? That city will be completely covered in gold in the next 2 years. Israel can't reach DC. What? This is why I don't watch movies. I hate the caste system. Our caste system is dictated by our credit score? Yes. Which is a social credit score, which is what I was talking about earlier.
Well, those records do not provide a precise GPS. Reveal where you work, where you worship, where you disclose the names of... No.
Charles Manson.
It was a bat. Or the names of the information to accurately identify the names of the researchers. No way.
Israel has tunneled through the earth to allow a more effective intercontinental missile delivery. DC is an easy target. SCOW, or not SCOW. Fuck, why do I keep saying people's names fucking wrong? There's too many people in the chat right now. Otto, that is literally probably an anti-Semitic conspiracy that people actually believe. Is it all the gold? Okay, now we're talking, oh God. Now we're talking about gold and Israel drilling a hole through the earth. Can we stop? We're getting like borderline anti-Semitic, even with our memeing. Not responsible for the tunnel thing. I mean, I feel like Israel could figure it out, not for at least a while. Well, I've never drilled a hole for Israel. Wait, are we saying gold, the person, or gold, the resource?
That's crazy. So you could take a bunch of individual pieces of information that seem harmless on their own and combine them to get a more complete picture of something else that's happening. Huh.
I don't know what we're saying anymore. That's why I'm nixing this shit. Gold is personally going around shitting all over DC. Oh, is that who Trump means is a terrorist? Is Gold Melter because gold is taking a shit everywhere?
Insane. I mean, and of course, if it's a foreign intelligence agency, yeah, we don't want them getting a hold of that information. That would be potentially dangerous. But wait, what if it's our own government?
But what if he shot you in the face?
What if he shot me in the face?
That's a risk we were willing to take.
Fortunately, in more recent cases,
gold was the real
bioweapon
on the way.
Recognize the obvious risks that a mosaic of information poses to the right of privacy in the digital age. In the case of United States versus Maynard in 2010, the DC Circuit Court said that although each individual moment of a car on a public roadway was exposed to the public, obviously, 28 days of GPS tracking data revealed a picture about movements that no ordinary observer could realistically obtain. Then in 2012, in the Supreme Court case of United States versus Jones, they held that attaching a GPS device to a vehicle without a warrant constituted a violation of the Fourth Amendment. And well, the government tried to argue in Jones that a driver has no reasonable expectation of privacy to the movements of their vehicle because they are exposed to public view on a public road. Justice Scalia, writing for the majority, held that whenever the government—
Fuck Justice Scalia. Fuck that piece of shit. Kago, thank you for the hydrate.
intrudes upon a protected person, house, paper, or effect to obtain information, it constitutes a Fourth Amendment search. Good. Good. I'm glad we had to rediscover that 235 years after the Fourth Amendment was written. Good. Yeah, every now and then it's just good reminder. The government be like, hey, is that still a thing? Dang it. And look, well, the holding in Jones was somewhat limited because it involved both physical trespass and—
You know, when that guy is on the right side of the argument, it's wild. Yeah, I agree. But fuck Antonin Scalia. Remember the Bogdanov twins? Wild conspiracies? I don't remember those guys. I mean, honestly, like 3 or 4 of the Supreme Court members, yeah, they suck. Especially fucking Clarence Thomas. Fuck that guy. Yeah. Fuck Clarence Thomas. Fuck Neil Gorsuch. Fuck Alito. Fuck Brett Kavanaugh. And fuck Amy COVID Barrett. Yeah, I said it. Amy COVID Barrett. I fucking said it. Clarence Thomas is a valuable member of this chat. No. The Supreme Court Justice, Clarence Thomas, is a valuable member of this chat as well. Amy COVID Barrett. Yeah.
Digital trespass. It set the court up to—
Fun fact, Donald Trump got COVID and then gave COVID to everybody else in his Amy COVID Barrett celebration in 2020.
Decide that unanswered question, which they did 6 years later in the case of Carpenter versus United States in 2018. In Carpenter, police obtained a detailed history of a suspect's movements from his cell phone without first getting a warrant based on probable cause. And of course, most people know this now, but whenever a cell phone communicates with a—
Speaking of gunk in his drawers, did everybody see what Abdul El Sayed said to the reporter about what Trump was saying about him?
Cell tower, by making calls, sending messages, or using data, it connects with nearby towers. The cell phone carrier then keeps records of which towers handled those communications. And while those records do not provide a precise—
Keep my name out of your mouth. I'm glad left-leaning people are talking shit back, like, finally. I mean, left-leaning people have been talking shit back. It's just Democratic establishment has not allowed them to fucking win elections. But we're fucking finally winning. Thank fucking God. Abdul is fucking incredible. Abdul's gonna get Medicare for all. True Dems are just spineless. Establishment Dems are spineless. Establishment Dems are spineless. The Democratic voters are not spineless. Also, apparently establishment is apparently a slur nowadays. According to Crowley, who is the Wisconsin nominee, who said that Republicans have some good ideas, and then also said that we actually shouldn't fight to make things better, that things won't get better. Establishment Dems are just conservatives in blue suits. Yeah. I'm going to say it a lot more. Blue MAGA. Yeah, blue MAGA. Blue MAGA. Vote blue no matter who, except when it's a leftist. When it has anything to do, any policy left of Ronald Reagan. Found out Rand Paul was a board-certified doctor. He found the board himself. Wait, what? Wait, Rand Paul's doctoral certification was the board he founded? Oh my God. 2 different colored wings on a flightless bird. Yeah, I guess that's kind of a funny allegory.
GPS coordinate, they can place the phone within a given area and show how it moved over time. And this is exactly what happened in Carpenter. The government used over 13,000 location points, captured over 127 days, to place the defendant's phone near several robberies.
Abdul, Donald Trump seems to think you're a gift to the Republican Party. What do you say to that?
I'm a gift to the state of Michigan, God willing, and hope to win this election.
And he says, if you pardon the language, you're full of What do you say to that?
At least I don't let mine go in the middle of the Oval Office.
Abdul, got him! Got him! He fucking got him, chat! Got him! Fucking Abdul, my boy. Fucking love Abdul. He must have saved so many people eyes. Honestly, can't believe we're living in fucking Minority Report with these fucking flock cameras. Yeah, that's what's coming, baby. This is what we need, bro? Yeah. God, I fucking want to run for office so bad. Like, I don't want to run for office, but, like, I feel like I should run for office. Why is Abdul making fun of that poor senior citizen? Fuck him. I missed to replay it. My bad. You got time to run for office, bro? Yeah, I do. Dude, if Kat Abelgazela did it, I can fucking do it. Actually, she's an organizer. She's cooler than me. She's better than me. Here, I'll play it again. I'll play it again because it's so fucking good. It's so fucking good. Here it is, chat.
Donald Trump seems to think you're a gift to the Republican Party. What do you say to that?
I'm a gift to the state of Michigan, God willing.
What is happening?
And
Internet, Internet, what are you fucking doing? I love how he puts his arm around the reporter.
Abdul, Donald Trump seems to think you're a gift to the Republican Party. What do you say?
What is happening?
The state of Michigan, God willing, and hope to win this election.
And he says, if you pardon the language, you're full of What do you say to that?
At least I don't let mine go in the middle of the Oval Office.
Abdul, Donald Trump.
Got him. Fucking got him. Did everybody see that now? Did everybody see it? He little bros the reporter with the shoulder pat. Yeah. Trump shitting himself is honestly a skill issue. True. Twitter be like that? Yeah. Twitter videos fucking trash. Look at the size of his arms. Yeah. The most fucking hilarious part of all of this, is that, like, Abdul is literally going to get votes because of how attractive of a person he is. Like, that's going to happen. That is 100% going to happen. I'm not saying all of the votes are going to go to him because he's such a good-looking dude, but he is so charismatic and he is so fucking good-looking, he's going to have so many people voting for him because of how attractive he is. That's why I voted for Donald. Internet's going full McConnell. All the Y moms are finna vote for him? Yeah.
Well, obviously, the defendant argued that such a detailed record of his movements constituted a Fourth Amendment violation because it had been obtained without a warrant and was now being used against him in court. But the government relied heavily on what is known as the third-party doctrine to justify its actions, which says that a person generally lacks a reasonable expectation of privacy when their information is voluntarily disclosed to a third party. And in a 5-4 decision, the court held that the use of the records constituted a Fourth Amendment search, with the central principle being that a person maintains a legitimate and reasonable expectation of privacy within the whole of their movements, even though each individual movement happened in public.
Impressive.
Chat. It has been brought to my attention. That we have a conspiracy afoot in the community. I have 2 users here on the screen. Do you have anything to say for either one of you? Do you have anything to say? A conspiracy within the chat has occurred. I have receipts. Is there a chance that you two may or may not have been whispering to one another about redeeming certain things? Say the word, this is not a democracy. Show the receipts. The receipt was just fucking deleted. Except it's not deleted because I still have it. There's no collusion. I believe there's collusion. It always ends up being an inside job. Innocent until proven guilty. Oh, one of these two users have straight up admitted to the conspiracy. Also, Gold, shut up. Gold, shut up. I guess Gold doesn't want to become a moderator in this community. Just like with Jared Kushner. Do you have anything to say from one another? I just want you all to know. Perhaps Spicy proposed a hypothetical? Oh, did they, Otto? Should we separate the users and go through an actual experimentation of the prisoner's dilemma? Also, fuck Jared Kushner in Saudi Arabia for buying EA. Yeah, I'm not buying EA anymore or playing it on stream. I don't get it, but go on. What was that hypothetical that Spicy proposed, Otto? Show the receipts. I have it. I have the receipts. As a psych major, I must advise against unethical experiments. This is not unethical. This is literally what cops use, by the way. So it's not unethical because this is what cops actually do. I mean, I'm going to play this newest Star Wars game, but I already don't buy things from EA. Samson option activated. Hi, Jake. As a gov major, I advise in favor of unethical experiments. Although, to be fair, they are just a publisher. Targets are locked. Otto, and Spicy Water. If I time out one of you, the other could come clean and not get a timeout at all. Anyway, I just wanted to have some fun with this. Spicy gets timed out. I will time out myself. I wonder if everything in here remembers the story of Samson. But anyway, Spicy Water texted me saying that Spicy Water whispered to Otto to redeem stand up. And then Spicy Water deleted the text message to me. Literally no proof, fake news. I have it. I replied to the text message. The text message exists in my replies. You have yet to show any receipt? That's because I don't want to dox you. What's the sentence? Justice must be dealt. Oh, I'll get my revenge, kidda. Kidda, I will get my revenge. It will happen. It would have been really funny if Twitch let me redeem that. Wait, redeem what? Lamau, this is ridiculous. Wait, what? What happened? What happened, Jay?
Very nice.
Huh. Kind of like if, hundreds or thousands of data points taken by flock cameras were then organized through their infrastructure.
Yeah, I only have it redeemed twice because usually I'm tired as fuck from work.
To create a mosaic of somebody's everyday regular movements. Yeah, I suppose it could be just like that. The court in Carpenter also took a direct look at the third-party doctrine, which is something that Flock contends is part of their just and fair business practices.
There's a concern that federal agencies have secret access to Flock data. Every one of Flock...
I just want to point out that the Flock chief legal officer, I just want to point out, the Flock chief legal officer, your entire job is to protect Flock. So, of course, you're going to put a video out saying that, oh, yeah, all our shit is legal. All our shit is above board. Of course it is. Chat. This person is getting paid by Flock. Of course they're going to say their shit's not illegal. What the fuck are we doing? How do I get my money back for subbing? You don't. That's not how that works. What about, yeah, motherfucker, the CIA can fucking get into whatever the fuck they want. We have known this since Edward Snowden. Yeah. American hero Edward Snowden ratting out the United States government for spying on us. Timeout missile has struck Night Ghost Rider for 1 million seconds on the auto fellatio broadcast. I'm already banned in there. So you can't time me out for 1 million seconds if I'm already banned. Guess where I went for one? I went to a place called Cow Patties. Mac and cheese, brisket, bacon, barbecue sauce, and frizzled onions. Oh my God, that sounds so good.
Clients control access to
I am banned you and time you out.
This is one of Flock's biggest arguments to say that they're in favor of...
Like, if they can get into my phone camera, they can get into Flock. Yeah. But they don't have to get into it because Flock is literally just filling up their database for them.
Privacy and not doing anything.
This is part of the Samson option?
Look, guys, like, it's fine. Our customers get to choose what they do with their data. We don't do anything, okay? We're just the middleman.
There's a common misconception that Flock shares data on behalf of our customers. The reality is we will always have customers be in control of their data.
But also
customers, not people we're observing. Notice they said that, chat? Customers, not people we're observing. They're trying to make it seem like the people that are being observed are customers. They're not. Who even are your customers? Exactly. Basically, another way to kill us. No, they don't want to kill us. They want to put us in jail so that we have to forcibly do labor for them for no money.
Interestingly, Flock technology is specifically desired
taxation without representation.
Shareability functions, to the point that what makes Flock more valuable than other LPR and surveillance systems out there is specifically this sharing and mesh functionality. So they hide behind the argument that they don't control the data while providing a system that is specifically valuable because of the way the data can be shared. Got it. Dope. Hell yeah.
Founding fathers are rolling in their graves. They would hate ICE and this shit. I don't think they would hate ICE. If I'm going to be honest, I don't think they would hate ICE because ICE is usually taking out brown people. And they'd be more freaked out about, they'd be more freaked out that brown people are walking amongst them. Because ICE is basically just the redcoats. Correct, Jay. You're right. You're right from a legal standpoint, but if you told them what actually ICE was doing, they would like that. They're not my fathers.
This guy The nice thing for
Founding
us
daddies
boy is that in the Carpenter case, the court dealt with this idea. First,
I didn't know
the
them.
majority held that just carrying a cell
they're the founding fathers that went out for cigarettes and never came back.
Phone was an indispensable part of participating in everyday society. You know, kind of like driving a car on a public roadway. It's fine. Don't worry about that one. That's still a privilege. And second, they held that the cell phone user does not meaningfully choose to transmit data to the cell phone provider every time they send a message and connect to a tower. Instead, the data is automatically generated as part of the phone's normal function. Thus, the defendant in Carpenter had not voluntarily exposed his movements in the same straightforward way that you would voluntarily give over financial information, say, if you were trying to get a bank loan. And the mere fact that a company possesses sensitive information or that that information occurred in public does not destroy every Fourth Amendment protection. Okay, now let's take all of this and add one more case on top of it, a case that Flock...
Honestly, the funniest part is, even if they rule that Flock is unconstitutional, everybody working at Flock, particularly the administration officials and the C-suite people, are going to get paid the fuck out. because they're going to force all of these townships and everything to pay out the contract. God, I'm profound. My founding fathers were those that began in the cradle of civilization, not white drunk teenagers. Cool.
Has directly responded to Chattree versus United States, which was decided on June 29th of this year and is the Supreme Court's latest major digital location decision. Here's what happened. In 2019,
see, I think the funnier thing, do you know how, I probably can't say this on Twitch. I don't know if I can say this on Twitch. I feel like I need to go to my legal counsel to see if I can say this on Twitch. I probably shouldn't say it at all. I'm just thinking it. I'm thinking it. I feel like Twitch doesn't care about most things. Say it, you won't. But I also don't want this recorded. Am I your legal counsel? Yeah. Reported for thought crime. I'm just gonna let it go.
Man named Okello Chattree robbed a credit union.
I'm
in
dying of
Virginia,
curiosity.
but the problem.
Let's just say what I'm thinking about involves. Oh, this will actually work. You're going to kill the cat with curiosity. I mean, the First Amendment exists. Yeah, but Twitch has its own terms of service, which I have to technically follow. I have no sense of wonder and curiosity left, so Ghost, I don't really care. Keep your secrets. Okay, this will work. So, Virginia Mansion. So, in a hypothetical, I'm gonna take that image off the screen while I talk about this hypothetical. So, Lindsey Graham, no longer breathing, no longer with us. Rest in piss. If Lindsey Graham in Red Dead Redemption were to have a cell phone and gay icon, no, he was a piece of shit. He was gay and hired a lot of sex workers that were gay and trans. We don't have Crab Dance. I mean, what? Fuck. Let me get this out. He employed so many people, I miss him. Oh my God, Auto's sub just ran out. Auto's sub just ran out in the last minute. I just want to point that out. So, in a hypothetical, because this is a hypothetical because Lindsey Graham's dead. 1 minute too early for the debate. Auto, don't resub. He doesn't deserve you. Okay, let me get this hypothetical out. So Lindsey Graham's dead, so this is not possible anymore. And this is just thinking about stuff. Let's say that Lindsey Graham's cell phone data, which is collected by third parties, GPS and everything like that, that all of that stuff was, I don't know, purchased by somebody. And then it was used to aggregate things together to potentially implicate Lindsey Graham in some nebulous situations. Or maybe it could be used to have people just, I don't know, show up places. Just for no reason. Just showing up and just making the presence known. That's all I was thinking. Auto, don't resub, he yells at his viewers when they when they for sure don't rage bait him with brain rot. Yeah. But anyway, that's what I was thinking. I'll leave it at that.
For investigators was that they had surveillance footage and witness accounts, but they could not identify the robber. So, seeking to uncover the true identity of this future doctor, Police asked Google to identify every device that
Men in
appeared
Black
near the bank around a 2-hour window when the robbery took place, in what is otherwise known as a geofence warrant. And the way that a geofence warrant works is basically exactly the opposite of the way that a traditional warrant works. Instead of asking Google for information about a name,
I feel like I was a nothing burger of a sentence, Lamau, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, it was a nothing burger. It was just dribble. It was just dribble. It didn't mean anything at all.
Suspect, police draw a virtual boundary around a location and demand information identifying every device recorded within that boundary during the specified time. Google, in this case, then searches its database and provides to police an anonymous list of the devices captured within that geofence. Police then examine those devices, request additional information, and remove the unsuspecting ones until they've narrowed it down. At which point they go back to
2 hours later, we're 20 minutes into a video. We are 27 minutes into the video.
Ask them to reveal the names, emails, and other data associated with the device. Now, obviously, this creates a constitutional problem.
I still don't get it, but I support your little radio show, son.
Issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, particularly describing the place to be searched, a geofence warrant begins with a completely unparticular, general search of everyone inside of the fence. And while that information is provided anonymously, police then search through all of that information, eliminating the ones that don't seem to be suspicious until they've finally narrowed it down to a particular device or a few particular devices. Now, this brings up an entirely different practical question, which is how do you go through someone's phone and not
gotta refill my coal generator?
Who they are by all of the information that's in there.
I'm out. That's what my fucking great grandma said to me the other day. I'm so dead ass. Well, Bernie Sanders also said that his son does a radio show.
But we'll just set that one aside for now. Either way, a geofence warrant in turn produces 3 major objections under the Fourth Amendment. First, probable cause. Being near a crime scene does not establish probable cause to say that every cell phone contains evidence of that crime. Second, particularity. Well, I mean, nothing about this is particular at all. You're literally grabbing all of the phones within a geofenced area.
It doesn't help I explain how streaming works to her with the radio.
And you're searching through those. And third, just a general violation of the right to privacy, to be free from unwarranted government intrusion. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time does not justify government intrusion without probable cause.
Fact.
Anyway, in the case of Shatry, well, they eventually found the guy guilty of the robbery. And
I don't know what else they had in the 1940s. I mean, it's a great comparison. It's a great comparison.
Him 141 months in prison because, well, screw that guy. The issue of geofencing came up in a major way. And while the court did not specifically hold that all geofencing is unconstitutional, they did specifically hold that geofencing is a search under the Fourth Amendment. And this reinforced the Carpenter decision from 2018, which held that people do have a reasonable expectation of privacy in the whole of their movements, even if those movements occurred in public. And that digital information does not automatically lose constitutional protection merely by virtue of the fact that it is held by a third party. The hilarious thing about the Shatry decision, though, was that Flock tried to spin it as, quote, reaffirming that people do not have an expectation of privacy on public roads. Wow. And this. And that ALPR systems are a clear distinction from comprehensive digital location tracking. Sure. Yeah, let's go with that. But here's why this is a win if you're skeptical about flock cameras, because anytime major companies or politicians start saying something that is exactly the opposite of the truth, you know you're getting close. No, the Shatry decision did not reaffirm the idea that
so they admit that it's digital tracking? Yeah, they literally said the exact opposite of what the decision said.
People do not have an expectation of privacy on public roads. And that's why they had to add this little bit at the end, in the same way that they do in private spaces. Yeah. Look, of course, everybody recognizes that you don't have the same expectation of privacy on public roads as you do in your home. Of course, that's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. And of course, given that that is what we're saying, it also reinforces the legal principles that have guided ALPR decisions for years. Yeah, guys, it's fine. This has been going on for years. That makes it totally okay. It's totally okay if...
Yeah, slavery went on for over a century. So, yeah, that makes it okay. Do you expect that when I'm on the road, fucking corporate rats don't scan my phone with Bluetooth?
Something has been going on for years, that means that it's okay. I don't know if you know that, but that's how it works. The longer you do it for, the more okay it becomes. And did it...
Okay, this guy reeled me back in.
Support ALPRs as a clear distinction from digital location tracking? No. Instead, it reaffirmed the idea that if the mosaic of information becomes too comprehensive, then it will also fall under the Fourth Amendment when it is used to search. So, are flock cameras constitutional?
Getting a Faraday bag for my phone, low-key getting a flip phone?
Yes. Flock is skirting by as constitutional because they are holding on to the idea that they're just another LPR system for dear life, like Tom Cruise on that airplane.
They're not. They're not, though. They're not
But
LPR.
at the same time they are doing this, they are literally building the infrastructure for a digital mosaic of information made up of innocent data points that in reality construct such a detailed insight into a person's life that no ordinary observer could realistically obtain it, which obviously is unconstitutional for law enforcement to search through without probable cause and a valid warrant. And they're hiding behind the idea that we let customers choose what to do with their data so they can step back and claim they're not truly responsible for creating the...
You have to do so much more not to track? Yeah, you really do. It's kind of insane how much shit you have to do.
Mosaic. Ha, yes, of course. Yeah, I can just imagine their lawyers trying to come up with a theory. Okay, guys.
Yeah, you would have to put the phone in a Faraday cage, like outside of your home and everything like that. Anything newer than... What year is your vehicle? Anything newer than 2011? Yeah. I don't have a car. Based.
How can we create a mass surveillance system while also saying that we're legally not creating a mass surveillance system?
Me?
This is it.
It's because I'm poor, Lamau, not based.
Yes, that's it.
No. Public transportation's awesome. You are doing better than most. Me? I'm doing better than most? Or Jay's doing better than most? I'm getting an old JDM car.
It's the data. If we're not actually meshing the data, then we can't be held responsible.
If we could somehow...
Honestly, I don't give a shit. I'm going to the camps regardless, so. I'm going to the camps regardless. They could have all my information. Someone talking cars? No.
Harness this lightning.
Anyway, unfortunately, because of all of this, the current legal fight...
I have a car not because I need it, but because I want to contribute to pollution and traffic. Rental cars don't connect to the Bluetooth. Nope, on that.
Is within a constitutional gray area. And look, anytime you're dealing with new technologies that touch upon fundamental principles like the right to privacy, you're going to get into situations like this. It's not like America hasn't been here before. But here's the thing. Flock, if it keeps moving in this direction, might become a victim of its own success. Because the constitutional arguments protecting intermittent license...
I hope you get to camp in the PNW. Yeah, I'll get to camp when I'm homeless, when I can't afford an apartment.
Plate reader technology becomes more and more weak the more robust the Flock systems get. One camera
Gonna be the
is
best summer ever.
Clearly constitutional.
I'm confused.
20 cameras
Is Keko camping with me?
Paints a little bit different of a picture. But hundreds or even thousands of cameras that show the entirety of somebody's journey from point A to point B? And then you combine that with the Flock OS system, which brings in thousands of other data points. Well, you start doing that, and you now have a comprehensive chronicle that details some of the most intimate things in a person's life, even if those things
I wonder if I won the lottery
in public.
You think I won the lottery?
Very fair to say that society has a reasonable expectation of privacy in that. And as far as I can tell, the courts have begun to recognize that more and more and more. And well, yes, in April of this year, there was a ruling in the city of...
Got sent to a camp in the PNW, but then it got burnt down by the wildfires, so you made your brave escape.
Norfolk, Virginia.
I'll say the one reason I don't really get super into cars is because my disabled ass can't work on my own car.
That they could put up 172 flock cameras. The court's ruling was limited to, quote, the existing system as presently configured. That doesn't mean that it's okay for them to set up 200 flock cameras. I'm just saying.
Oh, I just realized that we're talking about the camps, the concentration camps, when the communists and the socialists get thrown into the camps.
Courts are starting to look at this and go, yeah.
I've got it under control. I've sorted it out. We're good.
And here's the ultimate problem for Flock. Their legal justification under the Constitution relies on the idea that their cameras only produce fragments of information, but their commercial success as a company relies entirely on eliminating the gaps between those fragments. Now, the problem with the law is that we won't be able to decide on whether something like that is constitutional until a system like that is already built. And while I agree that current case law suggests that
kind of sucks because I'll have to rely on some of the most shady people, car mechanics, to work on it. Not all of them, but still. What? Car mechanics are not... Car mechanics I've had experience with are not shadiest at all. I just take my car to the store and they lie about what's wrong with it, and then I choose to believe them, and then I give them $1,500 even though there's a train next to me. Yeah, Keko can ride on trains, and yet he drives a vehicle. What a dork.
the Supreme Court would find a system like that unconstitutional. It behooves us as citizens to, not let it get that far. Getting out in front of this problem and letting our local governments know that, well, we can...
I don't know if you find a decent one, they are good. They honestly get a really bad rap because car shit really does cascade and snowball, so it feels like they're trying to scam you, but really, shit is just fucked. Yeah. Yeah, that's literally how that works. It's the same thing with your body, that if you have an ache and pain and you don't get it checked out, that it gets fucking worse. So if your knee fucking hurts, your fucking hip's gonna be fucked up because you're gonna compensate for your knee fucking hurting. It's the same fucking thing with a car. If you don't get your shit taken care of immediately, then more shit's gonna go wrong. You don't really need to know shit about cars to work on cars. Source gold. True.
Respect law and order, placing
also
the right
random bullshit in cars is so fucking expensive. Yeah.
Privacy above safety is the correct constitutional hierarchy. And that LPR...
They do that a lot of times because if you don't know what you're doing with the car, you won't notice it before it like mega fails. I fixed my Scion TC back in the day. I felt so cool. You had a Scion TC? Of fucking course you did. Of course you had a Scion TC spicy water. Gold tried to help me with my car, and then I got electrocuted, so take the information as you will. Preventative stuff is super easy. Black Cherry Pearl. Oh.
Cameras can still serve their legitimate function in society without, I don't know, accidentally becoming a nationwide mass surveillance.
What does that even mean? Nothing. Nothing. I was just saying, of course you had a Scion TC
system. And people speaking out about this has been making a difference. I mean, the city of Los Angeles, for example, just, I think, abandoned their program with Flock. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. Comment below on other video topics you'd like to see me explore. Flock was a big one that has been brought up in the last 2 weeks, so that's why I decided to do this video. And don't forget to check out pepperbox.tv.
Boxcar for the win.
Get all of these videos without
This is like
ads.
I gotta pay someone $50 for an oil change when I know how to do it and just can't. I mean, yeah, it's called the taxation of being poor and disabled. It's fucked up that someone who does not have the capabilities to do things can't like write that shit off on taxes and stuff like that.
The new exclusive Awful and Unlawful, which will be coming out over there soon. Consider subscribing if you've seen more than one of these videos and enjoyed it. And now I have to go figure out when the next public county meeting is to see what the hell is going on with that.
All right. I don't know if this guy was memeing. He feels like why minimum wage is a scam. Why America made itself fat. Why constitutional rights should only apply to citizens. Oh, okay. This is a fucking problem. Why constitutional rights should only apply to citizens. No. You're wrong. It should apply to everybody within the boundaries. This is why we were best friends. What? Just go with that. Ghost gets job. What? What? He doesn't even know it's a Toyota? I still get Toyota with my suit. What the? I'm so confused. Why do I have to play a doctor when WebMD has already told me what's wrong with me? True. I drive a Subaru now. He's wrong. Constitutional rights should only be for land-owning white males, not citizens. Gross. Yeah. Yeah. Why ending slavery saved gun rights? What the fuck? BiteSync, do you look at the channels you send me? God, I don't even want to tag this person in my VOD. How the federal government took over... How the federal government took over everything? Domestic terrorism explained by a lawyer. Well, at least he's explaining the Proud Boys. Lawyer explains ICE and our entire immigration system. Okay. Ghost bought a swastika car because his camp wasn't being built fast enough. Yeah. Libertarian for sure. Yeah. Why DC isn't a state? I don't know if he's saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. Bill of Rights, 800 years in the making. Oh my God, he's citing common British law. We didn't steal Mexico. Why the U.S. was not stolen from Mexico? Abraham Lincoln used slavery to end slavery. I mean, that one's kind of true. That one's kind of true because Lincoln said that the Confederacy was claiming that slaves were property. And as the winning military, the Union had the right to seize any and all property of Confederate of the Confederate countries, which included slavery. And then they enforced the Emancipation Proclamation. But yeah. Like, he probably has a title to get you to click on it and then explains in the video, I'm sure. No. No, when you say constitutional rights should only apply to citizens, I'm pretty sure I know what he's saying. I'm pretty sure I know what he's saying. I'm pretty sure I know what he's saying. We didn't steal Mexico. We just took it by force. Yeah. We didn't steal. We just took it by force. But I mean, great if he's removing flock cameras. Just the rest of his fucking arguments are awful. We didn't steal Mexico. We liberated it. Best that this guy has a video on why you should be able to have sex with minors. Yeah. Probably. Freedom of religion explained. He has 87,000 subscribers, and he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He has 25 videos in the last 9 months. This feels like an op. Religion should be free. I don't want to pay. All right. This is gross. I feel gross that I contributed views to that person, but they had some good arguments for why flock cameras are illegal. But unfortunately, those arguments are probably so that he can be a pedophile or something. I feel like some libertarians can be cool, but on average, most of them are just right-wing assholes. Yeah, libertarianism is just it's just a fancy word for selfish. Broken clocks and shit. Yeah, broken clocks are right twice a day. But I'm willing to bet that the libertarians are anti-flock cameras because they don't want the nanny state making sure that they're not taking their 14-year-old girlfriend out to the movies. I've never met a cool libertarian. I mean, I'm technically a social libertarian, but like not like the definition of an American libertarian. But chat, time for second thought. I feel like a concept libertarianism isn't necessarily right-wing. Correct, Jay. I'm a social libertarian. I'm a leftist libertarian. Meaning, if it is consensual, do whatever the fuck you want. If it's not hurting anybody else, if it's not hurting yourself, if it's not hurting others, if it's not putting anybody in danger, do whatever the fuck you want. Consent is key? Correct. Low key would consider myself the same? Yeah. But I'm a social libertarian because I want to make sure that marginalized people are protected. Marginalized people are protected and that we take care of people's necessities. But anyways, chat, second thought, click on the video, watch alongside of it. God, I don't think I got to make a decision whether to tag that person in the VOD or not. Fuck it, I'll tag him. All the fun stuff involves annoying other people. Shut up, Otto. Anyway, chat, second thought, the end of capitalism is here.
Yo, I've got some really good news. It's finally happening. Global capitalism is fracturing. Now, that isn't coming from me. It isn't some old quote from Al's Little Red Book. It's coming from Larry Fink, billionaire CEO of one of the world's largest investment companies.
Based?
BlackRock.
Little base?
They're pretty much running everything.
Is BlackRock evil?
This is one of those companies that is a juggernaut.
A company that manages trillions of dollars of assets, has clients in over 100 countries, and together with its clones, Vanguard and State Street, owns roughly 20% of any given company in the S&P 500. If anybody should be worried about capitalism being over, it's not you and me, it's this guy.
Yep.
But before we celebrate, is he even right? Well, for one, he's not alone. A lot of big, important capitalists have already been sounding the alarm for a while. In 2023, the CEO of the French investment bank Société Générale was saying basically the same thing. And every year since, we've lurched from one disaster to another as this whole thing seems to barely stay afloat. Massive inflation, a year of never-ending layoffs, and now a global trade war and bombing in the Middle East that have put World War III back on the table right as we're being told AI is going.
Buddy, we haven't even started capitalism. That's right. Holy fuck, we might be cooked. Jay, we are fucked. We are fucked. I literally have said it. I've literally said it that someone posted that someone posted that capitalism has existed for exactly 0.66% of human history, and it has already, or Earth's history, and it has already fucked up the Earth so much. Larry Fink is saying capitalism is going to implode, and we are so cooked. Jay, you didn't know who Larry Fink was until this video.
Gonna replace everybody. In Larry's 2026 letter to shareholders, he's predicting the end of the
Yeah, I did.
signals.
Okay, that's fair. You might have. I didn't.
Bad. Workers are worse off today than they were 40 years ago. AI is gonna get us. It's all crumbling, and we're not even building infrastructure like we used to.
He won't let me type 67%.
And if that wasn't enough, we might soon have a new financial crash on our hands.
And I'm worried about something worse than a recession.
We are headed for a U.S. dollar crisis.
When this thing crashes, okay, it's gonna crash. When this thing crashes,
it's gonna crash. It's a fucking AI bubble, baby.
It's going to be like mashing up the .com thing with a financial crisis because this is so much larger.
Wall Street execs have recently warned that the private credit market.
Sorry, I gotta recite this quote. Well, Kid is my wife. Her opinion matters more. Well, I'm Mexican.
It's not looking so good. A few bankruptcies and plummeting stock values are starting to snowball and could become the seeds for a new depression. It really seems like capitalism's tearing at the seams because this just can't keep going on. Or maybe it can. Hey everybody, just wanted to take a quick second to plug.
Because when the AI shit fails, a lot of people are gonna get fucked like more than we've ever gotten fucked before. Yeah. Dude, I literally was caddying for a dude. He fucking admitted that the AI is a bubble and then told me at the end of the round, I am buying everything AI that I can. I'm like, bro, you're a fucking idiot. What the fuck are you doing? Ghost, you should get some plants. I thought about getting plants. I actually did think about getting plants. I actually have a really interesting video I watched today you might fuck with. Can I share my opinion? No, Otto.
Some merch. As always, I want to make sure I respect your time, so if you're not interested, here's a timestamp. Now, for those of you that stuck around, thank you so much for your support. You're probably already familiar with The Deprogram. That's the podcast I do with Hakeem and Yugopnik. But you may not know we also make the best merch in the business. Our latest drop just went live, and I genuinely think it's got some of our best designs yet. Our philosophy when we're designing this stuff is aesthetics first. We don't put out designs we wouldn't actually wear ourselves. We all hate the generic podcast merch, so we've worked really hard to make stuff that's actually cool. I was hoping to get some of the new designs delivered before I had to record this so I could show you in person, but as usual, I waited too long to order, so please enjoy instead this amazing—
What is your opinion? I would like to hear the golfer was right.
Amazing shirt I found on the clearance rack. Anyway,
the video is called The AI Bubble Just Burst. It's like 44 minutes long. What the fuck? The AI bubble has not burst yet. It's gonna burst. It's gonna burst. It has not burst yet.
You can check out the full lineup at deprogramshop.com. And as an added thank you, all Second Thought patrons can get 10% off using the coupon code
There's an equity bubble?
patreon.com/secondthought.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. The same bubble that popped in 2008 is also a thing. There's no AI bubble. There's an AI bubble and there's a fucking housing bubble. Title's low-key clickbait, but it's a good video.
That's deprogramshop.com. Thank you for continuing to support the channel. We truly could not do this without you. And now, back to the show. If history's any guide, there's just centuries like this where—
And when that bubble bursts, it won't be that prices go down. It'll just mean your money gets more worthless. Yes, because corporations are going to swoop in and buy up all the fucking housing and stuff at that point. They'll just print more and more money to prop up asset prices. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think we're going to go Zimbabwe style because literally the US dollar props up the entire world. I think that's a take, but it's also the same take that's been happening since 1971 when we got off the gold standard. It literally just happened 2020 to 2024. That's not the reason that the dollar is more worthless nowadays. It's because fucking greedy corporations have been price gouging. It's not because they printed money. They've been price gouging since 2020. We just need a better president and the economy won't be as fucked. No, we need a better Congress, not just a president. But he was a businessman that went bankrupt 8 fucking times. The S&P is up like 140% since 2020. The stock market is not the economy. Better president is someone who changes things? Yeah. Bernie 2028.
Changes. It all keeps getting worse.
Oh my God, Bernie Trump election 2028. Bernie finally gets to take down Trump.
And we all suffer. So to know if any of this will kill the beast, we need to think about capitalism much—
Also, Texas just made its own stock market. What? When people are talking about the AI bubble, they're talking about share prices. Yes, I know that. But everybody's 401k and everything is involved in the stock market. The Dow's above 50,000. Is it above 50,000? This shit is honestly scary as hell. Fucking Texas doing Texas things. I mean, the AI bubble is not just about share prices. Yeah, it's way more. It's like every business. That's what Pam told me. Yeah. The AI bubble is literally every business is fucking throwing money into AI and it's not producing anything. It's not producing. Listen in the Ghost Chord to that fucking Chapo podcast that I put in there. Dude, AI is not producing anything. It's not producing anything. And we are just funneling fucking money into it. It's a couple of monies just bouncing money among each other. Yeah. Tons of cities have stock exchanges. Yeah. Chicago has one.
Much more deeply than
it's literally just a way to draw wealthy people into the state so you can
let's start with the basics.
Get tax revenue.
What are we even talking about when we say the end of capitalism? Capitalism is a system that guarantees the existence of the rich in a world where the poor outnumber them but need to work for them in order to live. That was about the shortest one-sentence definition I could come up with. It's pretty vague, but it gets to the point. This is what capitalism is about, and that's how it works. For it to end, these things have to no longer be true. Looking around, there's very little risk of that right now. So let's get a better, longer definition that gets progressively more complicated and accurate as we go, so we can refine our analysis a little. Capitalism is a political, social, financial, and economic order that began sometime in the 16th, maybe 17th century. What makes capitalism capitalism is the way that this order is organized.
Your money is literally worth less every single day by design. If you're not invested in equities, you are fucking yourself over by design. So it's a product that not consumer wants or buys. It doesn't work. The only reason it makes money is the AI circle jerk, and the stocks of it are plummeting. Well, they're not plummeting yet. The AI bubble did burst in Korea recently. I'm good with lowercaseism. Can I get the friends and family discount for your services? Auto. If you were a financial advisor, which you're not, if you were investing in equity, which would be fucking houses, what is the 40% of the country that doesn't have enough money to buy houses supposed to do? How are they supposed to have any? They can't do shit. I'm not defending the system. Okay. You think my ass has stocks? Yeah. 90% of the stock market is owned by the top 10%. And like 99% of that 90% is owned by the top 1% or something like that. Saying that's how it works. Well, I'm fucked then. My GameStop and ANC shares are killing it. God damn it. The numbers are a bit weird.
Organized around a specific...
Yeah, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's like 90% of the stock market is owned by the top 10%. And then like most of that is owned by the top 1%. Here it is. The richest Americans own a vast majority of the U.S. stock market. According to the Fed data, the top 10% of Americans held 93% of all stocks, the highest level ever recorded. Meanwhile, the bottom 50% of Americans held just 1% of all stocks in the third quarter of 2023. Oh, this one's not going to say anything about the 1%.
Specific set of rules and conventions.
My
one of which are the right to private property and the imperative.
My retirement account now is 113,000. It was 100,000 last month. It is now 113,000. None of this is normal. Yeah. Yeah, that's 90% of 45% of the U.S. population owning stock, I think. Wait, Ghost, how is your KView doing? I don't know. I don't look at it.
That right to make a profit.
I need to get better at playing the video when I'm checking
my phone. Don't have private property to produce commodities and paying them less than the revenue that their work generates. Or by trading debt as money with the confidence that states and central...
Low-key might eat some money in that index fund. Index funds typically do better than actively traded funds, which is why most of my retirement funding is through index funds, and why I have nearly a 20% rate of return on my retirement account, which that is gonna go down eventually when the bubble pops. One in EMP and none of this matters, correct? And then we would never be able to fucking recreate the society that we have nowadays because we wasted all the resources. Last year, my growth in equities was over half my actual wage from working for the entire fucking year. It's fucking gross, but if I don't play the game, I'm just fucking myself. Yeah. I'm not saying to not play the game. But I also kind of believe that we should take a sledgehammer to the fucking wheel and try to make it as safe a landing for people like yourself as we can. Like China did when China was having a real estate fucking bubble. And they did a slow fucking landing. They did a soft landing for their fucking bubble popping. And the entire world was saying, oh, actually, China's going to fucking fail because of this. Also, Spicy Water, to answer your question, I'm up $7 on the 2 shares that I have for KView. I'm up $7. You have a decent retirement compared to most? But most people don't have retirement. Most people don't have retirement. That's why what I have compared to most is better. Because most people don't have fucking retirement. I think Gen Z is honestly never even going to get to play the game before this country implodes on and stuff. Jay, I'm a millennial and I can't play in this game. I'm a millennial and I can't play in it. Of course Gen Z is not going to be able to fucking play in it.
Central banks will protect the value of those assets in times of liquidity crises.
I'm an older millennial.
Rolling over the moment that the market ceases to exist so that capitalists can continue to transact. In other words, capitalism is a collection of strategies for the elite to stay the elite indefinitely. A status that is based on unequal access to and power over the resources necessary for human life and commerce. So this is a pretty theoretical definition. No society is ever completely 100% sticking to these rules at every single level of human interaction, whether it's the US, China, Brazil, Russia, South Africa. Every one of these countries has a blend of capitalist and socialist, even feudal conventions overlapping with one another. But in this era of global capitalism, at the end of the day, the biggest decisions boil down to what generates profit for an elite class of businessmen. And for
Chat, I've been saying this. What we are going to turn into is literally just doing work for rich people. That's what every job is going to turn into. It's going to turn into catering to rich people or just making rich people more money. Millennials had it worse than Gen Z. I agree, Otto. Millennials had it worse because they hit the fucking they came out of high school after the fucking the housing financial crisis. Nobody was hiring at that point. So the people that didn't go to college, and then they came out of college with incredible amounts of debt where they couldn't take out a mortgage to buy a fucking house coming out of college. And then when you maybe saved up enough money, COVID fucking hits and the bottom fucking drops out and then nobody's fucking hiring anymore. Nobody's paying anything. It's fucked. I know way more millennials that are rich than people my age. If we don't try to end this, we deserve whatever happens. Yeah. We deserve the worst, honestly. That's straight up not true. AI has been worse for the job market. You have no idea what the recession did to the job market? Yeah, job market's fucking horrible because capitalists are squeezing as much blood out of the rock as they can. Literally not true for unemployment rates. Unemployment rates haven't fucking moved because they changed the way that they calculate unemployment rates. But with as low as the unemployment rates have been, there should be actual strength. There should be actual strength in labor to get increased wages, but the government is putting their thumb on a scale to not allow increased wages, which is why we need unions. Millennials at least had a shot. Gen Z hasn't even gotten started. I wouldn't say millennials had a shot. I mean, they had more of a shot than Gen Z, but Gen Z's brains are fucking broken because of the internet. Especially when it comes to college, jobs, and wages. Anytime workers get the upper hand, the thumb presses down. Yeah. They use multi-employed people to offset unemployed too. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. I forgot. I was thinking that, but I couldn't put it was on the tip of my tongue as Cal, but I couldn't it wasn't coming to me. Honestly, I would say Gen Alpha is the one who's really fucked. Well, Gen Alpha is in college right now. So if you have 3 shitty jobs, you offset 3 people's unemployment. Yeah. But you need those 3 jobs to not die.
For the last century, at least, we've been predicting the end of that. To give you an idea, the term late-stage capitalism has been around for over 100 years. 100 years later, we're still waiting for that to mean we're getting close. Because every time it runs into a crisis, capitalism hasn't died, it's mostly just been tweaked.
Also, chat, FDR literally saved capitalism. and saved the United States. FDR saved capitalism and saved the United States because FDR, the election of FDR, prevented fascism from rising in the United States. And then we all know how fascism, what happens with fascism. We know they're not FDR, low key. No. Yes and no. We need someone to bring back FDR policies and expand on them. We are currently in a moment where we can get someone elected, like an FDR. What about TR? What? TR?
The biggest tweak we've ever seen. After capitalism went through its greatest liquidity crisis in 1929, the stock market crashed and the world went into a 10-year
He actually had a plan.
depression.
I feel like no president has had a plan the same way. He didn't have a plan. His plan was to throw as much shit at the wall and hope shit stuck. Like, a lot of policies that he implemented fucking failed. But his plan going into the presidency, which was also backed by unions, and unions were a big reason that FDR was elected, and FDR was a class traitor, he threw as much shit at the wall and hoped something stuck, which is why we currently use the 100-day mark as a benchmark for every president. Because in the first 100 days, FDR got a shit ton of stuff done. Teddy Roosevelt? Well, Teddy Roosevelt was a fucking imperialist, but Teddy Roosevelt was kind of based too. Teddy Roosevelt was a racist imperialist, but his economic policies were pretty fucking good. Yeah, but like an idea of how to improve things and actually try them. It was also, again, unions gave him the ideas. Brett's president was Donald. Why else would they rename the Kennedy Center? True. Rename the Kennedy Center and then unname the Kennedy Center. Teddy was a psycho? Yeah. Yeah, Theodore Roosevelt was a kind of a psychopath. But he was a psychopath on the side of labor, which was a good thing. But again, not great for his imperialism and his manifest destiny bullshit. Do you know who Huey Long was? Is that the dude that signed the Declaration of Independence? We should sure have been fucked since trickle-down economics. Thanks, Reagan. Yeah. Oh my God, chat. I have, on my Twitter, I found the greatest tweet ever. And I posted it. So, this person, Owen Schroyer, posts this. U.S. rent versus income, right? So rent skyrockets from 1985. Okay? I recently made a Twitter so I can keep up like the nerd news. Well, follow the Ned Ghostwriter broadcast. Because I post that shit. Okay, so rent skyrocketing, right? So they post that video. And then fuck you, I quit post every time. Amount of thing, before Reagan, green is good thing, red is bad thing. Before Reagan, good thing go up, bad thing go down. Ronald Reagan, after Reagan, bad thing go up, good thing go down. Literally every single goddamn time. It never fails. Every time. Every time. I don't even understand how that's possible. I don't even understand how it's possible. Chat, do you think Ronald Reagan welcomed Lindsey Graham with open arms in hell? Do you think Lindsey Graham? What about AIDS? What do you mean, what about AIDS? What? More like open lips? Fun fact. Ronald Reagan's wife, Nancy Reagan, was known in Hollywood as an incredible blowjob master. I didn't know if you all knew that. But next time you see a reel of Nancy Reagan, just remember that she was really good at giving blowjobs. He was a guy running against FDR in the New Deal and was assassinated. People think if he had won, he would have gone full fascist. I learned about him in high school. What? Huey Long? He was assassinated? I could have died not knowing that. Well, No one with Arnold should be allowed to run for president. Oh, he ran in the primary against FDR? Wait. Dude, he ran against FDR in the fucking primary. Wait. God, I have a fly on my screen. Hugh Long played a role in the Hearts of Iron 4. Play it, Ghost. Huey Pierce Long, a controversial figure, Long is celebrated as a populist champion of the poor, or in contrast, denounced as a fascist demagogue. Wait, so did he ran in the primary against FDR in the 32 election? Am I understanding this correctly? No, he was a senator. Oh, 36 presidential ambitions. Populist support for Long's Share Our Wealth program raised possibility of 36 presidential bid against incumbent FDR. When questioned by the press, Long gave conflicting answers on his plans in 36. Long's son Russell believes his father would have run on the third-party ticket. This is evidenced by Long's writing for his speculative book, My First Days in the White House, which laid out his plans for presidency after the 36th election. Oh, okay. He's the every man a king guy. Oh, God. Motherfucker was crazy. No draft dodger or criminal should be the president, but here we are. I mean, Muhammad Ali was considered a draft dodger. Every Man a King, co-written by Huey Long. What? Oh no, my sub ran out. What do you mean? What do you mean your sub ran out? Spicy Water, you literally... This is a PG channel? No, it's not. It's not a PG channel. Spicy Water, you subscribed for 6 months at tier 2? Oh no, did you do that by accident? Oh no, Spicy Water. Cat, congratulations on 7 consecutive streams. It was on purpose? You subscribed at tier 2? Damn. Spicy Water is not getting 6 cents per hour. Spicy Water is getting 12 cents per hour of the Ned Ghost Rider broadcast. What does that mean? It means you're paying more money to subscribe to the Ned Ghost Rider broadcast, but it also means that you're getting more channel points. Well, Spicy Water is my first tier 2 subscriber. More standing? Oh, God. More standing? Oh, no. Oh, that's embarrassing. I'll take it back. I mean, you can't. I don't think you can. I think you'd have to, like, message Twitch. What do you mean your sub went away? Your sub shouldn't have gone away. You literally resubscribed at the beginning of stream. Spicy Water for president? Huey Long was base except for the fascist racist tendencies. Well, he was a populist. That's what fascists do. I actually didn't mean to resubscribe at the beginning. It was an accident. What? Wait, you didn't mean to resubscribe at the beginning. So then you resubscribed in tier 2. Ghost, read the song? Why am I reading the song? Why am I reading the song? Every Man a King. A song co-written by Louisiana's governor of the United States, Senator Castro Carazo. Long was known as political slogan Every Man a King, which is also the title of his 33 autobiography, the catchphrase of his Share Our Wealth proposal during the Great Depression. The song's lyrics include lines with castles and clothing and food for all belongs to you. The song was co-written by 35 by Huey Long Castro Carazo, the band director. Why weep or slumber, America, land of brave and true, with castles and clothing and food for all belongs to you. Every man a king, every man a king. For you can be a millionaire, but there's something belonging to others. There's enough for all people to share when it's sunny June and December too, or in winter time or spring. There'll be peace without end. Every neighbor a friend with every man a king. Dude, This guy was running on a temporary embarrassed millionaire policies that everybody's temporarily embarrassed millionaires. I don't endorse the racism.
Poverty, a nearly 50% cut in production, and price deflation, meaning wages taking a huge hit. Thousands of banks went out of business, millions of people were suddenly living through much scarier times, and all immediately
forgot this
following the
motherfucker
peak of
sound like
robber
Andrew
baron
Ryan.
fortunes. If there was ever a moment where you could say that capitalism should have ended, it was then. But it didn't. It was tweaked. Keynesian economics took over as the new governing model of capitalism. The primary imperative, keeping the elite as the elite, didn't go away. But now their status was conditional on new things, like full employment. This is where the New Deal, the welfare state, the Fordist production model all came into being and brought capitalism back from the brink all the way up until the 1970s. Capitalism was saved by disciplining the elite, not challenging their status. But that very thing ultimately became the source of a new crisis. 40 years of wage growth became just too much for capitalists who were making profits, just not faster than workers were getting.
Yeah, I'm head out, gonna finish up some stuff and schlump. Hi, Jay. W stream. Hi, Jay. Jay, thanks for coming in. This was fun. Thanks for being my rage bait that I can farm clips.
From the late 70s on, then, capitalists revolted. Capitalism was going to need to get much leaner for workers. And this new era was kicked off with the Volcker shock. A 20% hike in interest rates by the Fed that skyrocketed unemployment and simultaneously set up the US to elect Reagan, the UK to elect Thatcher, and Germany to elect Helmut Kohl. Even countries where socialists were in power, like France, suddenly found themselves forced to change their economic policy drastically. Volcker reminded the world that as long as it's capitalism, the imperative of keeping the rich wealthy doesn't go away. And this time, it would survive on the condition of cheap consumer goods. Neoliberalism was the new name of the game. The welfare state was shuttered, the average job started to pay less, unions got crushed, everyone started needing crazy debt to get by, and to offset everything else getting worse, the new social contract was held together by cheap TVs and shirts for $1. But this, predictably, led to another crisis. You can't have wages decline so much that people's basic necessities depend on taking on huge amounts of debt forever.
The housing market collapse created one financial crisis after another.
The signs were everywhere, but now it's official, we are in a recession.
Major financial institutions have teetered on the edge of collapse, and some have failed.
2008 was another one of those moments where it really felt like this whole thing was cooked. Neoliberalism had pushed global finance to chase extreme levels of debt at the same time as wages took a nosedive. Once banks realized this system didn't have the liquidity they thought it did, the crisis started bouncing from one part of the economy to another until the central banks stepped in. They brought the bank's securities onto their own balance sheets.
Greed is good. Yeah, it's the most goodest.
Bailing out the banks and leaving the rest of us to absorb the costs. Houses got foreclosed on, jobs disappeared that never came back, and entire generations have now come into the labor market completely unable to match the wealth of their parents and their parents before them. And now that we've been in this situation for a couple decades, what do the elites suggest as a solution? A new tweak. On the global stage, the US is starting to pull out of the global exchange and production system and switching to a growth strategy that depends on inflation and price shocks. Wars are exploding all over the world with the chief objective of making oil costs skyrocket, increasing the sale of American weapons, and bringing up prices for everything else without any hope of them going down after the oil shocks pass. That's on the policy side. Let's go back to Fink's letter for a second. In the face of all the problems he lists, Larry gives us his own solution. Just invest. He says it himself.
Just invest.
In the last 30
just invest. Just do it. Just do it. Just invest. Just do it. Just do it.
years, wages aren't growing as fast as returns on the stock market. $1 in the S&P 500 grew 15 times.
Oh, this is literally what Otto was telling us. This is literally what Otto was telling us earlier.
Faster than that same dollar as a median wage. So Larry's advice is, why not just hitch a ride on the one thing that's going up? Well, you can probably think of why without me having to tell you. In a country where 1 in 4 people live paycheck to paycheck and millions are dealing with huge student loan debt, having money to put aside in savings, let alone financial investments, is just not something that's within reach for a lot of people. Those who are most directly targeted by the violence of capitalism are the ones with the least flexibility to do things Larry's way, which, I don't have to tell you either, he's only suggesting because it just so happens to be the solution that lines his pockets. The head of an investment company currently trying to get younger generations stoked about investing on TikTok obviously doesn't want that for altruistic reasons. But beyond the practical reasons why this is BS, advice like this reads more like a confession to me. Did you know that 62% of Americans have money in the stock market? And honestly, that's not a bad thing. You should have some kind of retirement fund or something. But anyway, stats like these make it seem like a majority of us have something to gain from economic growth. Except, about 90% of all stocks are held by just the top 10% of investors. Worse even, the top 1% own about half. Meaning that when the stock market grows, when the economy is doing well, it's really only benefiting the top 10%.
Yup. Yep, the people that actually have liquid capital that can take advantage of dips and everything like that.
Specifically doing that at the expense of the 90% that are left. The little money we can get from our investments is a cover for the fact that that money is coming out of our wages. Between 2018 and 2022, after Trump's tax cuts, corporate profits exploded, and instead of putting that money into raising wages or doing R&D, billions went to stock buybacks and dividends. And when Time magazine looked at some of these numbers, they found that the biggest offenders not only gave more money to their shareholders, they siphoned off more money from consumers.
All right, Spicy Water. I think I figured out how you can get a refund. I'm going to have to walk you through it, though. Oh, shit. I'm going to have to walk you through it. And I think there's been enough time. Oh, fuck, it was 10 minutes ago. So if you go in the upper right corner, where your profile picture is. And then you click subscriptions. Just send Spicy a check. And then wherever my subscription is, I think you can select like cancel subscription or something like that. And then it should say cancel and refund or something like that. And then you could resubscribe at the tier 1. How could I buy a daily sub instead of a monthly one? Why would you do that? That would be more expensive, Otto. I don't know if Spicy Water might have gone to bed. Also, this video I'm watching is from 5 years ago, so I don't know. At a minimum, cancel the automatic resubscribe. Spicy had to find a second job to pay for your outrageous sub prices. Should have invested instead. This is why I said Spicy Water is a boomer. This is why I said Spicy Water is a boomer. I mean, Spicy Water just basically paid for 2 subs. Because they subbed at the beginning. Another victim of capitalism. Perpetuated by Ned Ghost Rider broadcast. Man, this is not helpful at all. Goes, how about I don't sub for the next month to balance it out? No. No, I don't think that would work because you would get the ads then. Oh, wrong one. You would get the ads then, Otto.
By raising prices.
You fixed
Pepsi
it?
laid off hundreds and raised prices by double-digit percentages.
Did you? Because it still says you're tier 2. It still says you're tier 2.
8 quarters straight. Comcast rates
I'll just watch it on the Spicy Discord.
up, and they fired 3,000 people. United Healthcare increased claim denials 800% and gave their investors
Did you submit a refund request?
$15 billion in buybacks. The whole
Fucking goddamn
just
fly.
invest strategy isn't a solution. It
Correct.
isn't going to make
It's not.
capitalism work for more people. It's a cover for capitalism to
Basically.
continue doing what it's built to do. Exploit the poor, enrich the elite, and keep that cycle going forever. When Fink says capitalism is fracturing, what he really means
I want
is that
a fly swatting stream. Or should I get the gun? Should I get the gun auto? I thought today was gonna turn into a fly swatting stream. It's like that Breaking Bad episode. I thought it was gonna be a fly swatting stream because it was fucking with me like the whole time before stream started.
he and his buddies are giving away the game, and he would really like it if capitalist countries would realize they're getting cocky. He would much rather they get people to invest a little more and make a little bit of money so that the bigger problems, no jobs, no healthcare, no roads, don't seem as bad, even as he and his private equity friends keep making them worse, with the added bonus that he would manage some of these investments. At the end of the day, you can't reform your way out of this. There is no capitalism without the
My
enrichment
friend
of
had
the
a
elite
hiccup
at
stream
our
earlier.
expense by its very definition. So either you negotiate for more crumbs on their terms,
or we Spicy Water, you have to send a refund request, which I have the link for you, and I will whisper it to you. Yeah, it sounds like you have to do that. And then I think you could chat with him like immediately. And just kind of let them know.
finally get smart and say, no, I think we're done now. And we break the wheel that keeps this system crushing 99% of humanity.
Another base video from JT. All right, chat. Wow, you noticed that video didn't take much longer? All right. Let's watch Good Work. Let's watch Good Work. Let's watch Good Work on why oil is such a big deal. Oil is such a big deal. You make an Iowa emote for followers. Auto. You can't use the followers emote outside of their stream. I hope you know that. I love oil, especially ethanol. Chat, there's a video link. Watch alongside, please. Also, I will tag that guy's channel. Even though I probably wholly disagree with his worldview. I will tag it, though, and give it.
Oil. We know it tastes yummy, but what happens when we can't get it anymore? Apparently nothing good. Fellas with microphones?
An oil crisis is ramping up across the globe.
Oil prices are absolutely soaring.
Worse than the fucking 1970s.
Gas is up almost a full $1 a gallon.
Oil shock.
Oil shock.
Oil. It's all
Oil.
They can cut off the flow of oil and gas.
That could send oil to $200 a barrel or crash the entire system. Let's get into this.
Terrifying as always, boys, thank you. Yet there's one thing I'm confused about. I thought we were all trying to get off oil as quick as possible. I mean, note my milk and call me lib, but I feel like all I've been hearing my whole life is clean energy this, solar panel that, the hummus.
I'm kidding. Don't subscribe to me. I don't stream. Ghost, if you don't get an Iowa email, I'm going to sub to Cat.
I mean, why is oil still such a big deal?
Shit doesn't even stream. Okay.
I'm here at the Strait of Hormuz. I was simply vacationing in my camo pontoon boat here when a local mackerel told me that about 1/5 of the world's oil is transported through this gorgeous 104-mile-long passage between Iran, Oman, and the UAE. In case you haven't heard, my homeland, the United States, has recently launched Operation Not Sure What the Fuck the Plan Is, a finely tuned tactical mission against Iran that wound up closing this maritime passage, resulting in the loss of over 400 million barrels of oil and counting. Now, for some, oil might seem like a more archaic source of energy, one less befitting the modern man and more the
Oh shit, can I make my own emote? I believe you can, but you'd only be able to share it in your channel. Auto. I think. Chicago Geographer has a nicer one and is actually a streamer. I think you would get to affiliate, then you could use it outside of your stream.
Our mustached, bowler-hatted 1880s baron who writes business contracts in the blood of his son Ezekiel. But apparently oil is still hella relevant, and that's on science. Now, when people talk about oil, they're generally talking about crude oil, and it's called crude for 2 reasons. 1, it will make tasteless jokes about Armenians. 2, it's extracted from deep underground where it's mixed up with lots of other shit. Once you extract your crude, if you want to turn it into gasoline that makes your car go vroom, you gotta send it to a refinery where they turn it into fuel and also lots of other stuff that goes into asphalt, plastic, kerosene, the lipstick I wear when I'm home alone, Vaseline, nylon, and much more. Also, usually found in the ground near oil is something called natural gas, which has lots of uses like heating buildings and making fertilizer. So natural gas and all of these various petroleum products are often lumped into discussions of oil in general. And oil in general is intertwined as balls with the global economy. For the past few decades, though,
CG does have a fuck Iowa emote, though, so maybe not. That's kind of based. I kind of love that. I kind of love that emote. I might subscribe to CG.
Felt like a lot of the Western world has been making a big push towards investing in alternative energy sources like solar and wind. This is because oil famously releases pollutants that hurt Mother Earth, and emissions of these pollutants continue to rise each year. Yet today, even after all of those green energy conferences,
post that shit. Post it.
That I flew my Hummer-branded PJ to, more than half of the world's energy still comes from oil and natural gas. Which means that if there were perhaps a shakeup in the flow and supply of oil because of a conflict in a crucial shipping passage that also happens to be ideal for extreme camo pontooning, I imagine it'd be a pretty big deal.
This is the largest oil shock in terms of supply in the history of the oil industry.
Ruh-roh.
What we are currently experiencing is a fundamental loss of flow through the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz, the single greatest choke point for the global oil industry, has been closed for a month now. That is just something I never thought I would see in a million years.
Rory Johnson is an oil market researcher I spoke with back in late March, who writes a Substack called Commodity Context. Rory explained to my ass that
Oh my god, I just saw the fuck Iowa emote and it's fucking amazing. I love it. I fucking love it. Wait, he has a love Iowa and a fuck Iowa emote?
Following U.S.-Israeli airstrikes, the Iranian
emote is
government's
banned in my
decision
channel.
to effectively close the Strait of Hormuz created an oil backstop unlike any that humanity's ever experienced.
Yeah, like experience the top of the hour ad break, because the top of every hour, Twitch makes me run 3 minutes of ads each hour to avoid pre-roll ads for any new viewers. If you want to avoid the ads, you get paid $5.99 for a subscription, or get lucky and get gifted a sub, or you can link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account and get a free monthly subscription from Daddy Bezos to your favorite streamer. Hopefully it's me. If it's not me, then hopefully it's one of my friends. But anyway, here comes the 3-minute ad break now. Ghost, if you show that emote, I'm out. Okay.
Ships can take upwards of a month and a half to get to where they're going. They're not going to feel the loss of that supply until that final ship reaches, wherever it's going, that port, and then there's nothing behind it. Whenever that flow stops, everything just starts to go haywire because the system is never meant to stop. It's always meant to kind of be flowing perpetually.
Folks, if nothing else, I'm a news hound at heart. Ruff, ruff. Bark, bark. Bow, wow. Every morning I love just putting my snout straight into the news wire and getting down and dirty. And for my fellow news hounds out there, I have recently encountered something that makes it much easier to responsibly consume news every day. Ground News. Ground News is a website and app that gathers over 50,000 sources from around the world into one place, which means you can compare how different outlets are
Ethical
covering
reacts,
the
ethical
exact
reacts,
same
ethical reacts,
story, all
ethical reacts.
lined right up for your inspection. But Ground News also tells you what these outlets are all about, their political leanings, how factually reliable they tend to be, and crucially, who owns them, which, in today's media environment, is not information most outlets are exactly racing to disclose. And once you click on a story, well, that's when the caterpillar of Ground News blossoms into a stone-cold butterfly. Here, let's check this one out about Anthropic suing the Pentagon a couple months ago. So this was a big story. Basically, Anthropic and the Pentagon got into a catfight about whether or not AI should be used in autonomous weapons. But Ground News lets you see all the different ways this one story was covered all in one place. Over 300 sources covered this story, and they all did it a little differently. For example, PBS's is a little more technical, whereas the New York Post's is a little more dramatic. You can even filter by geographic location to get the global perspective, and yes, see which private equity company or billionaire owns them. And listen, if you don't believe me, how about I refer you to the executive director of a little place called the Nobel Peace Center, who called Ground News an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. That's on Nobel. Ground News is fully independent and funded by subscribers that don't rely on corporate influence to decide what you see. And speaking of subscribers, I can get you 40% off the same unlimited access Vantage plan I use by scanning the QR code on screen.
Chat, should I start using Ground News
right now? Or
should I start using Ground News for my videos?
Which is groundnews.com.
Except I probably don't make enough.
Good work. Thanks to Ground News for sponsoring this video.
I probably don't have enough numbers.
Keep hounding. Now, whether or not the Strait will reopen following the cute will they, won't they ceasefires that are perpetually being negotiated and unnegotiated remains to be seen. But in any case, the Strait is so important that any pause in oil flow does have the capacity to throw a massive wrench into the world's oil markets, something we've only just begun to feel the ramifications of. The ramclifications of. The ramifications of. Can you guys just write something fucking normal for once? Jesus fuck.
There's no way the world can fill in that level of supply loss this quickly. So what we will have to do is essentially destroy demand on the other side to balance the equation, because this has to be kind of a ledger at the end of the day. It has to balance. And the way we destroy demand is through exorbitantly high prices.
The extent to which is going to hurt the global
Why did that person look like Dexter?
The extent to which is going to...
Why does this person look like Dexter?
Hurt poor nations that do not have the means to subsidize fuels the way that Western nations do. That is something that, I'm hearing people talk about more and more.
Benoit Morin is an energy reporter for the Wall Street Journal who I fully vetted for the purposes of this investigation.
Benoit Morin, energy reporter at the Wall Street Journal.
Is that French, Benoit?
That is.
Lovely. The Pump brothers here explained to me that the most immediate effects of this energy crisis are being felt by those most dependent on the Strait specifically for their oil supply.
You're seeing, nations like, Laos and Japan, South Korea, all those nations are implementing restrictions either on fuel exports or on, consumption of those products, asking people to conserve. School days are being...
CG threatened to delete the Love Iowa emote, so that's why I made my own.
Cut. This is mostly happening in Asia right now.
Wait. Otto, shouldn't you love Chicago Geographer? Because don't you think Chicago Geographer is a Chicagoland truther?
Because Asia is extremely reliant on crude oil from the Middle East.
Much of the world, particularly the global south and poorer nations, will see this through the lens of acute physical scarcity, which will mean no cooking fuel, no heating fuel. This will be a life or death situation for many people around the planet.
There's been a lot of chatter in the group chat that, unlike most places in Asia, America won't be as impacted by this.
I feel like the Hormuz closure won't affect the U.S. as much as Asia because of local oil production and reserves. 1996, Jennifer Aniston, dude, goat, need her, my actual wife. What the fuck? No, he believes in a subservient Chicagoland. CG is a Chicago purist, none of the Chicagoland BS.
Strait closure because over the last 2 decades, we've quietly become an oil-producing powerhouse. With the growth of horizontal drilling and oil sourcing known as fracking, alongside tax incentives and more extraction around Texas, the U.S. of A has become the U.S. of A and oil. In fact, we produce more car tar per year than any other country in the world. But while we certainly brew a ton of the Texas tea, that doesn't mean that the U.S. is completely insulated from oil shocks. Our refineries are older cougars, and they're not designed to efficiently process the oil we're getting out of Texas today, which means that
I have so many emotes now. No, you have an extra. I think you have an extra emote. Actually, I don't even know if you have an extra emote.
We export most of the oil we drill, and we import most of the oil Americans wind up using here at home. So when there's an oil shortage internationally, we feel the impact. But as a tried and true New Yorker, I'll put journalistic integrity aside for a moment and admit that, folks, I don't give a fuck about your little gas prices. Frankly, I'm better than you, and I haven't driven a car since I was 3.
If I'm a New Yorker watching this episode and I put down my cigarette to ask a question, that question is, why should I care about what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz?
Because fossilflation is a thing. Fossil.
Dems might want to lose the midterms, to be honest. Oh, is he going to catch all the blame for the fallout from all the Trump catastrophes and possibly lose 2028? I mean, I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think that's going to be the case. But that's an interesting take, Otto.
Fuel prices increasing, winding their way through the economy, increasing food prices, largely because of how fundamental fossil energy sadly still is.
Gernot Wagner is a climate economist at Columbia Business School, who I also vetted for this investigation.
Gernot, you sound vaguely European, am I right?
So my wife says, pan-European accent, yes.
Well, welcome to America.
Thank you. Who profits
Can you imagine in November where the Dems win and oil is $200? Yeah. That's literally how that works. Fox News will never shut up. Fox News doesn't shut up now. Wait, are you saying Trump is literally going to be president in 2028? When oil goes up, the person in office doesn't win most of the time.
Any wild guesses?
Suddenly, I was in uncharted territory. As a professional questioner, I had never myself been questioned by a guest before. I had to make sure my answer was both compelling and correct.
What election? I'm confused on which election Otto is talking about, too. I don't know if Otto is talking about this upcoming election, which may or may not happen, or the 2028 election.
Know exactly the type of ace this...
But he can blame all the problems on the Dems holding the House and the suckers will eat it up. Those people were going to vote for him anyway, Otto.
Fast-talking pan-European was dealing with.
Iran.
Not quite. It's the U.S. oil industry.
Oh, okay.
Because pumping oil in this country didn't get any more expensive. But what we have now is much higher oil prices, right? The cost is the same prices, right? So they are printing money as we speak. The rest of us, consumers, even if we don't burn oil directly in our internal combustion engines in cars, indirectly, right? Hashtag fossilflation is a thing. And what comes next after fossil fuels, after energy, it's food. Takes a bit, takes a few weeks for food prices to go up. So when fertilizer prices go up, food prices go up as well.
With Gernot's pan-European words ringing in my ear, I could no longer ignore my original question. With all this mounting evidence that a global energy system built around shipping congealed dinosaur matter through the world's most hostile lazy river is a risky approach.
I'm getting commercials for your state. I don't care about your governor's race.
Why aren't we changing it faster?
Hats off for not seeing race.
I don't know. Not be using so much oil?
So what it's going to do to the energy transition, I think it's going to probably, in some ways, accelerate things. But then you're going to be looking at, more expensive energy overall. So it's always this question of what you optimize for or what you value most. Is it security of supply? Is it affordability? Or is it that it's clean and sustainable, right? And I think right now the big focus of the world is on, am I going to be able to power schools tomorrow and heat my house this winter? So we're looking at security of supply.
A lot of the climate movement has for the last kind of decade rested on a moral framework, of a humanitarian framework, of this is what we do to make the planet better and to avoid.
Yeah, but also there's a sect of people that have literally said, hey, we should have energy independence and renewables get us to energy independence so we don't get hit with these fucking oil shocks. There have been people that have literally been making this fucking argument the whole fucking time.
The worst costs on the poorest among us. But that's particularly in a cost of living crisis type politics is not that effective of framing. What's a much more effective framing, and the way I see basically all future comes from like the just stop oil people, they're just gonna have a big painting of the Strait of Hormuz. Like energy.
We need to drill more and invade Canada so we have more oil. Otto, they're not even drilling on the land that they already have permission to drill on.
Security is gonna be a much
But also that is what the chuds think.
better and much more compelling framing.
Also, the Canadian oil is literally heavier and grosser than the Venezuelan oil. And the Keystone Pipeline was actually to get Canadian oil to the refineries in the Gulf.
For reducing oil demand and consumption long term than I think the moral framing was.
For the past few days, I've woken up the same way. I get up out of my bed, I check my phone, I look at oil prices, and I soil myself. For all of the panic that's been had about oil prices over the last few days, is basically anybody who's invested in the
Turn Canada into a gas station? I will fact check you on the heavy oil fact. Are you talking about the heavy sands in Canada? You talking about the heavy tar sands in Canada? And comparing it, are you going to check that to see if the tar sands are heavier than Venezuela? Or are you just yes? So do you want me to look that up, or are you gonna let me know? I have a source. Okay. Heavy oil is better because it weighs more so it doesn't float away. I have a source. Okay. So are you telling me I'm incorrect? Because if I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong. And I'll use that knowledge for the future. Hi, it's me, the source.
economy, alternative energy sources. Are they looking at this scenario and going gangbusters?
I mean, there are better ways of providing that motivation, but yeah, this is one of them. It's a big one. But, you know, I hate to say this.
I have a source who has been in both countries. What? What does that have to do with the heaviness of the oil? Are you saying that the source is an oil expert and can say the opposite of what I'm saying? I've pissed on Canada. I've pissed on America too. I know things.
We have one of these fossil energy crises every, 4 years.
The source knows oil?
Every decade. And there's always and this time is different.
I mean, I could just look it up too.
Energy prices spiked in the late aughts. You know, this time is different, and yeah, electric vehicles are a thing. Guess what happened? The following decade, right, prices came down again, and we used that extra purchasing power to buy Suburbans, and we're...
The source knows oil very well, finds it. Okay, so am I wrong or not? I'm so fucking confused on this conversation. Am I wrong or not? Or am I correct? Is this source agreeing with what I'm saying? That the tar sands in Canada are heavier and grosser than the oil in Venezuela? Heavy oil is known as oil in the industry. Please follow industry nomenclature. Oil is not heavy oil. Oil, not heavy oil. Oil.
Filling them up to the rim with cheap gas yet again. So I'm not so confident that this is the one thing that will finally do it, right? And we'll never...
Sorry, Spicy Water. I'm just like, I'm trying to fucking figure out why are you being vague? I'm literally asking the question. It's oil. It's oil. No, it's 710. It's 710 like Helldivers.
Look back. What is different this time? We have those cheap electric vehicles, the solar panels, the induction stoves, the heat pumps available. They're only going to get cheaper and better. What will hopefully happen is that there is this realization that, yeah, you can insulate yourself better against those geopolitical vagaries.
Indeed, the conflict in Iran and subsequent shock in oil prices seems to have pushed many across the globe to invest in alternative energy sources to a greater degree. But that certainly doesn't mean it will change oil's dominance in our daily lives anytime soon.
Obviously, there's been effort to divest and to reduce dependence on oil. And to be clear, there has been a lot of progress along this route, that the oil intensity of the global economy, and particularly the US economy, is remarkably lower than it was 50 years ago during the oil shocks of the 70s, which is actually part of the thing that makes the global economy less vulnerable to the loss of oil today relative to 50 years ago. There are other alternatives. But overall, oil demand last year, this year, next year, will continue to grow in absolute terms because everyone just keeps using more of it.
Like Rory said, progress has been made, and proportionally, our economy is much less reliant on oil than it used to be. But even after a long period of climate conferences and green politicking and ads where companies make environmental pledges over stock footage that looks like this, the war in Iran has made it clear just how reliant we all are on old school oil. Not just Americans, but also people that live in other countries. They're kind of like Americans, except they live in other countries. A bigger clean energy transition certainly would be expensive, but we're seeing right now the cost of sticking with a global energy.
Yeah, and Donald Trump has literally passed as many things as fucking possible. Has passed as many things as possible to make sure that we can't transition to renewable energy.
Energy machine that can be skull-fucked by a single post on Truth Social. A machine that, if I may say, does not appear to be particularly well-oiled.
Got him. Got him, Dan. Love it.
For good work. And from the straight, I'm Dan Toomey. Thank you so much.
My name is, Dr. Heather Beadle, and I am an associate professor of geophysics at the University of Oklahoma.
What is oil?
So oil is essentially where you have had massive amounts of death, small marine organisms that died and sunk to the bottom of seafloors or lake beds. And over time, you had sediments and rocks pile up, and they got deeper and deeper and deeper over millions of years. They got heated up and essentially cooked. And so when those organisms cooked, oil or hydrocarbons are produced.
Could someone drink oil?
So if you think about it, if Red 40 has some petroleum products in it, I'm guessing we have some red sodas. So I think if you drank the oil, if you drank this, you'd be really sick.
If you were potentially talking to a man,
Well, yeah, there's sweet oil and stuff too.
Suit who had maybe drank a little bit of oil himself before this interview, would you qualify that as a good idea?
I would qualify that as a bad idea. And with all of my expertise, I would recommend that you call the...
Canadian tar sands are like 6-degree API and Venezuelan is like 8-degree. Essentially a tie. Anything less than 40-degree API is considered heavy oil. So they're both the same. But what I said still stands, that tar sands is heavier than the Venezuelan oil. So what I said was correct. Refineries treat both the same. Okay. That makes sense. But what I said was still correct, that the tar sands were heavier than a Venezuelan oil. Even though it's by a little bit, it's still. My source has a master's. Okay. Your source is great. But I'm pointing out that I was still correct. Barely. Barely correct is still being correct. Do you know what a student that goes to medical school that gets a barely passing grade, do you know what they call that person? A fucking doctor. A goddamn doctor. Barely passing is still fucking passing. They're a fucking doctor. 2 degrees, that's like 2 inches negligible. Well, it depends on what that 2 inches is for. So Rand Paul is a doctor? No. He created the board himself. Also, did he get a passing grade in medical school? I think he probably did. Going to store, y'all want anything? I want Spicy Water to stop annoying me. Spicy Water, can you just admit that I was fucking correct when I said the tar sands were heavier than the Venezuelan oil? Because even though it's only 2 degrees of API, which I don't even know what API is. I don't even know what API is. But I was fucking correct. I want to win in the lottery ticket. They already picked the lottery Bite Sync. They picked the lottery already. I don't know if anybody won.
Poison hotline.
Excellent. Okay.
Another banger. Another banger from Good Work. Oh, that whole thing makes me want to go to bed now. That whole debacle with Spicy Water. What else? Oh my God. All these are long fucking reacts. 30-minute reacts. All right. Let's watch more Perfect Union. We sat AOC down with Republican voters. Can she win them over? We'll watch that. 2 degrees, that's what gets you annoyed? No. It gets me annoyed that I was correct and you can't admit that I was fucking correct. Can we watch Naruto? No. That's what annoys me. When I literally made a statement and your source confirmed my statement and you can't say there, yes, you are correct. Yes, it is by a little bit, but you are correct. So I was correct in my fucking statement because I have an energy business finance minor. So I am aware of this stuff. I know I don't have a master's in oil, but I still know this stuff. You were correct, barely. Still correct. I just said I was going to fact check with an actual expert. Okay, that's fine. So I was still correct. Anyway, chat. On to the next video.
The blasting started. It went on a couple of months. My sister-in-law's ceiling come crashing.
So after listening to Good Work, why oil is important. Let's listen to AOC talk with fellow Republicans.
Crashing down.
Nobody from Amazon has bothered.
Not
to
fellow
say-
Republicans. Not fellow Republicans. Republicans. I'm saving my hard-earned money, and this is the thanks I get. No comment.
One word. It was 3 blasts a day, 7 days a week for months.
This is unbelievable.
What happens when you take Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to the heart of the data center revolt?
And they're just trying to say that no one should cover this?
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but I'm on a Social Security check. I can't afford to do that.
You didn't blow up your ceiling.
No, I didn't.
We wanted to know how voters who feel politically homeless,
And raise your hand if your electricity bill has gone up and your water bill has gone up.
from the black suburbs of Atlanta
Are the local politicians supportive or what?
to conservative rural communities,
This is not a party issue. This is a people issue.
That's right.
So it doesn't matter what party you are. It's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
how are voters going to respond to a Democratic socialist from New York?
People want to call me woke, whatever. This is about power.
With the Trump administration pushing for more data centers,
The AI race is a big deal. The construction of colossal data centers. We have to get this stuff built.
where does that leave regular people like Beverly Morris?
Well, I feel trapped.
Comment. This is the intro to the video. We're watching the intro to the video.
Because I have no way out.
How is the backlash against a data center boom the key to unlocking America's politics?
We've never been more polarized. I just think we got to show up in these places and see these things for ourselves.
Well, do you want to show us there's been some damage to your house?
Of course. Yeah, sure. Come
Yeah. Pamela Felder purchased her dream home 3 years ago.
So the first initial thing I saw was the crack in my porch. Wow. All the way across.
All was well until explosive blasts started to shake her home earlier this year.
It sounded like someone picked up my house and went boom. A week
Jesus
after
Christ.
that, that's when I started seeing cracks all throughout my house. And I found out they're putting a data center in my backyard.
The 2 million square foot hyperscale
Wait, why are they using fucking explosives and shit? The fuck are they using explosive stuff? You said no comment for my hard-earned money?
data center is being built less than a mile from Pamela's home.
You can still see where the paint is ripped all the way up my stairs. I noticed the ceiling, that little crack across there.
My dad worked in construction, so
Oh, he did?
so if I look like I'm really sticking my nose
No,
in here,
I don't care.
because
I
I'm
want you
taking
to.
a real look. And your neighbors are experiencing the same thing.
We're all sending letters out to the blasting company.
And what are they saying when they deny it?
They said my house was settling.
Oh, so everyone here's
Everyone's
house is settling
settling
at the same time.
At the same time.
Pamela's neighbor also came by and insisted we see a giant sinkhole she said was caused by the blasts.
Makes you want to cry. No one's listening. Why a data center? Why now? Why here?
Unprecedented amounts of money are behind the race to build. Meta is investing $600 billion in data center infrastructure through 2028. OpenAI has pledged over $400 billion. Even the real estate company responsible for this site just closed a $3.25 billion funding round.
If these tech folks love these data centers so much, put it in your backyard.
That's right.
Yeah, this shit has been happening throughout all of history. People that are marginalized, particularly people of color, are the ones that fucking experience this bullshit. There are literally neighborhoods that have industrial factories and stuff where cancer rates skyrocket because of this bullshit. And it's happening again with these fucking data centers.
That's right. Or
You put it in your backyard.
Put it away from people's homes.
This is why we're saying we need to.
Fuck, I wish I would have told my golfer and be like, do you want the data center built in your fucking neighborhood? And then when they said no, I'm like, well, why do you want it to be built in other people's neighborhoods?
Slow the roll on this.
Treat others how you like to be treated.
Because they're moving fast. We're just saying pause it so that we can move forward in a more just way.
That's right.
In a fair way.
Yeah, for everybody.
For everybody.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you for your...
But far from the black suburbs of Atlanta is much Trumpier country, and the idea of AOC isn't as enthusiastically received.
There's some really extreme liberal views out there.
Before they met her, I asked folks what they knew about AOC's politics.
Just from an overall view, very fringe left.
I'm probably a lot more conservative than she is.
How are your politics evolving? And
They're evolving.
I'm not real impressed with the politics on either side.
We first met Beverly Morris and her husband Jeff last year when they showed us how the construction of a $2.5 million...
Last I checked, they're still pretending nothing is wrong in that town in Ohio where the train crashed a few years ago and everyone in the community is getting sick. Oh, yeah. Palestine, Ohio? East Palestine, Ohio?
square foot Meta data center is contaminating their drinking.
Also, train derailments are a common thing. Train derailments are a common thing. They happen all the time. Not saying it's a good thing or not, because it's not a good thing. Yeah, it's fucked up. And the derailments happen literally because railroad companies are trying to squeeze as much blood out of the rock as they can.
Water, a charge which Meta denies.
This is my cold water pressure in the kitchen.
So you can see the sediment from the data center.
And this is what's in all the pipes, too. They should be responsible for that, not us.
when we were here last year with them, Meta was still building this data center, but now it's operational.
I worry about using the water for everything.
Yeah.
I don't use the water for cooking anymore. I did for a
Holy shit, I'm having connection issues. I'm sorry, kiddo. But is the AC fixed?
while. You know, I thought, oh, you know, I've got to use it.
Right.
I wouldn't drink it. I haven't drank the water here in
I mean, it should
years.
be, I mean, this is my view, but it should be a right for you to be able to turn on your tap and drink what comes out of it.
The Morrises aren't alone. Other residents also came to us with stories of their contaminated water.
AC still working. Apparently, I get one thing at a time. I guess it's good waiting in place in Nautica too if you're having connection issues.
This is the sediment that it's picking up. The cold water pressure everywhere is pretty bad. You cannot take a shower and wash dishes or take a shower and fill up the horse's water. You just can't.
Our refrigerator broke, our HVAC broke. We have issues with the pool. So anything that's water related, we have issues with. And this is the filters from the filtration system after we pull it out. So.
And you used to change those filters once a year, or?
Yeah.
I think typical people are probably 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
And now you're doing it once a month?
Yeah.
But you feel
Jesus
stuck,
Christ.
right? You feel like you can't, even if you wanted to move, you can't.
No, not and be able to get the value that we've put into our home.
Well, let's keep going down the line here, Connie.
Our fight is in.
There's a derailed abandoned train 30 minutes from me filled with radioactive waste. What, BiteSync? What the fuck? That's crazy.
Coweta County, we just had a large parcel of land rezoned for a data center, but we don't know who it is yet that's coming.
And I'm Tina. I live in Oxford, Georgia, and it's the Amazon data center.
We're not just fighting Facebook or Amazon or any of these data centers. That's not who we're fighting. We're fighting the entire institution that allows it.
They think people aren't paying attention. They'll go sniffing around, jiggling every door handle to see what county they can push these things through on.
It is necessary. I understand the need for it, but the manner in which they're going about it is not only wrong, it doesn't even make sense.
I don't blame Amazon. I don't blame those businesses. I blame our government. That's who's supposed to be taking care of me. My commissioner should have been looking after our community. Our governor should be looking after our state. Like, it goes up. A business is a business, and it's about making business, and they don't care what they're doing to people.
Right.
They don't, and that's a shame, but they're greedy and they don't
the
care.
way it is. Yeah.
We appreciate you taking the time to come hear about it, because until someone at a national level gets really serious about it, nothing's going to happen.
We should be starting congressional investigations on the effect on these and figuring out with precision how we protect our water supplies, how we protect your power bills and water bills, and keep people from getting sick.
50 miles away from the Morrises, a group of residents.
See, I think the crazy part is that like these data centers and everything are reliant on 1 workers and 2 people providing data to the data centers. If we're all fucking dead, they can't collect any more fucking data.
Successfully pushed for a moratorium on a 95-acre data center project.
Now, wait a minute. Where do I know you from? You?
95 acres?
Oh,
That's insane.
Yeah, you my girl. You know,
We organized because we know what we want in our community. And they did not anticipate.
I think they cleaned it up in 2017. Oh. BiteSync, you were implying that the derailed train was still there. That's why I was confused.
That when they had the Board of Commissioner meeting, that hundreds of us were going to show up. They couldn't deny us. They had to stop and say, wait a minute.
Across the country, more than 50 local data center moratoriums have already been enacted, with dozens more proposed or under consideration across the U.S. But this patchwork approach has left a lot of communities vulnerable.
We're in a neighborhood that's in unincorporated Clayton County, but just over the fence line is the city limits of Forest Park, and that is where the facility is being built.
Wow. Okay. All right. So the county has a moratorium.
By the way, these companies are building this shit as quickly as possible so that people cannot prevent this shit from being built.
Yes.
But the city does not?
Correct.
Wow. And so the city, even though the city's inside the county, it's not covered. Hoo-wee. All right, talk about a loophole.
Yes.
For now, the local fight continues.
The community has said we want walkability in our neighborhoods, we want clean air, we want clean water, but we have to keep fighting. It's like a continual fight. It's like we're surrounded by piranhas, that just keep trying to pick at us, but we just keep fighting.
In March 2026, AOC and Senator Bernie Sanders introduced legislation at the federal level called the AI Data Center Moratorium Act. It's both a response to growing opposition to these facilities, but
also, if Republicans were fucking smart, they would vote this bill through and just let Trump pocket veto it, because then they can go to their constituency and say, hey, I voted against it.
Also about the need to establish a nationwide policy about their construction.
Our responsibility is to take care of people, and that is what we're here to do today.
What you're proposing is a national moratorium.
Yes, and it's it's not the same thing as an outright ban, but it's saying we need to meet some basic protections for people. We need some guarantees on your water, on the air that you breathe. We need to make sure that the jobs that stand to be wiped out, that there's a plan for that, and we're not just leaving people, out to dry. And we need to just have some really basic common sense protections for people.
The bill would require a building moratorium until the federal government passes laws mitigating job losses, preventing utility rate hikes, and establishing environmental protections, among other things. The question is whether this is enough to persuade conservative voters to support someone far across the political aisle.
Do you think that people here could get behind?
I bet those Republican voters actually have more values aligned with AOC than they think. Because most Americans believe in the quote-unquote leftist policies that the United States of America has. As the only 2-tier subscriber here, I request Flight Sim after this video. Well, you can request it, but I have to wake up early for baseball tomorrow. So
someone like AOC and her ideas for AI
we can do it tomorrow.
Data centers?
I think they would get behind anyone who was going to fight for their rights.
Also, I can't be bought. That's like literally one of the main things here, is I can't be bought. Pass.
Water and to live their life without dealing with this.
Now the tide on this is starting to turn. The politics on this, because everyday people are starting to catch on to what's going on.
She may be on the left, but on the data center issue, seems more centered and genuinely concerned about people. And that's refreshing to hear.
How do you wrap your head around addressing this at the national level?
We need to put people first, and we need those protections to be ironclad and guaranteed before we can have a conversation about what does and doesn't get constructed.
Do you think that this is an issue that could maybe pull our country together?
I don't know if it's going to pull our government all together. It's pulling the people together.
If there's a chance that
They have the money, we have the people. Chat, they have the money, we have the people.
anything can be done, I feel like she is gonna
She's more centered. No, dog. It's just that the right is incorrect. Correct.
be the one to do it.
Days later, AOC showed Beverly's water samples to an EPA water official testifying before her committee.
I have a jar right here. The only difference between the clean water and this was that data center. I have another one as well. This is what the drinking water now looks like next to that data center. And I think
I bet they're going to sit there and say, oh, you can't prove that it was different.
both of us can agree that neither one of these things are drinkable.
So as soon as I get back to the office, I will be looking into exactly what you've just talked about, because anywhere, whatever type of construction it is a priority to ensure that water quality standards established by EPA are being met.
There are a lot of people with a lot of money who don't want to see this thing slow down. They're like, the train's moving fast, we can't afford to stop, doesn't matter, we'll figure it out later.
I've been in a lot of political fights that have seemed insurmountable before that we've won.
1, 2, 3.
No data center.
I just don't believe in impossible. I just think that, you know, if you think something's impossible, it's just that's an imagination problem.
We're going to keep following this
Chat, she's
story.
so
If you
good.
have any tips for us, please reach out at stories@perfectunion.us
She's
and
so
continue
good.
to follow our reporting in the months to come. Before you go, please support our work by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. We're always looking to tell more stories like this one, unpacking economic systems that impact all of our daily lives. Are there other issues you want to see us cover? Sound off in the comments, and again, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Chat, she's so good. God, I cannot wait for her to run as president. She's gonna fucking wipe the floor with any Republican. I will say though, that if someone can enter the presidential campaign, someone that's further left, where she can look as more moderate, I think that would be highly beneficial. I don't know who would be more left though and be willing to run for president and be eligible to run for president. But chat, that's gonna be it for me tonight. Sorry I'm not doing flight sim. But I'm trying to wake up early tomorrow because I'm thinking about streaming my baseball game tomorrow morning. So I need to get to the field early to kind of scout it out and make sure I could film the game without doxing myself or doxing my teammates and stuff like that. So if you see me go live tomorrow morning, that's what's happening. I hope I can do it, or I hope that I can figure out a way to do it in the future. I was going to go live 2 weeks ago, and I'm glad I didn't, because if I would have filmed that game, there was literally like the field's location like on the wall and stuff like that. I'll be awake. Kidda will be awake because Kidda just woke up. But I probably won't be able to read chat. I'll have the mic on myself, and I just hope that my teammates don't dox me when they're standing next to me. And I don't know if they're going to be able to hear me talking and stuff or whatever. Also, I guess I need to figure out as far as like telling the other team too. I don't know. Honestly, I'm pretty sure my teammates and the other team will be like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't know. We'll see. But I got to send you all somewhere. I got to send you all somewhere. Where do I want to send you? Chat, I'm going to send you to Cozy stream. I'm going to send you to Theo. I'm going to send you all over to Theo. We haven't rated Theo in a long time. We're going to send you all over there. Cozy stream. Go say hi to Theo for me. Theo is one of the wonderful people that helped boost this channel in the beginning. Thanks for streaming, no problem. No problem, Keko and Kidda. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Sorry for not doing planes, but I wasn't expecting that video to take 2 hours of reacting to. We got a little derailed. But yeah. Anyway, chat, thank you all so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it. With that being said, wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good night. See y'all later. Go Birds. Fuck ICE. Free Palestine. Fuck Israel. See ya.